So there's a lot things can happen with this. So this slide is important. Be it flip it, be it cooperative group learning, be it collaborative learning, be it demonstrative learning or experiential learning. It's all in your hands, and we can do contemporary approach. So with this, I will take a break of talking, and it is your turn to participate in terms of a collaborative tool. And the tool is Slido, which is seen on your screens. So there are three ways to enter. Some of you very comfortable with technology may let QR code, or some of you can just open another window on the same browser and put slido.com with the code, very easy, 55,000. And even easier method I'm going to do is picking up the link from the slide and going to put it on the chat in a second from now. And you need to just click and join. I think the chat is Ritesh sir, is the chat there?
Yes,
Is a link there,
yes, ma'am.
right? So I request you to please come with me on the chat, on this link. So three ways I have shown you. For those of you who are comfortable with technology, I'll again put this slide. And kindly join me, kindly join. I hope you are able to join. So I will enable the screen of the, yeah, I'll enable the screen and kindly come. So yeah. I hope all of you join. Please try to come. And just to save bandwidth, because I'm using two tools together, for some time I will put off my video. And as it stabilizes, I will again put on. Kindly permit me to do that. Yes. So kindly, please see, I will start presenting so that let's see all of you have joined. It will be great. Kindly come forward to join. And any point of time as you are coming, any point of time you feel there is something which you are not, I'm not being clear, or I'm not able to understand things, make things clear, please feel free to say, hey Pratima, you're not doing good, please improve. Give me a chance before you plan to leave the meeting. I will improve. That's my commitment. So this is all their QR code. This is the three ways and easiest I told. And to save time, let's start. Mohammed Sahab, आपका नाम आ चुका है. If you want, you can put the question also. So the first, which I wanted, you can put Q&A also and try to participate in this. So the question is here, teaching and learning. You heard Sandeep sir in his keynote address, and a part of discussion about 29 minutes are already over. Teaching and learning is the main responsibility of whose? Would you please like to say? Yeah. So as you answer, I will know. Okay, very nice. Three of you have answered. Kindly come forward. All of you, please, all of you. All the participants, especially. So because this is again AI-enabled tool, I will not do anything. After a day or two, I will get analytics. And what only I have to do is that I have to share with the organizers. That's fine. Kindly, all of you, please come. And this is experience try to do. I'm exploring right now. I'm exploring as a team together. So kindly do. Yeah. So another few seconds for this question. So kindly do. I hope you are enjoying this question, 23. And also, as you see, here is question and answer possibility. So some of you who are already have written also, so kindly you may please put your question also if you want at this point of time. Why Q&A only at the end? Q&A also is possible during. Yeah. Thank you, organizers. So please click the link and you will be enabled to join immediately. Or right now also QR code is in front of you or the website with the code. Yeah. So 26 answers. I still want to wait. I wish others also can come. Now, right now you can see some of us are not very much comfortable. This happens in the class also. I respect it. It's perfectly fine if you're not joining immediately. It's okay. Because sometimes you would not have used this tool. You would be comfortable with another. So if at all you have used, can you show me with thumbs up on the WebEx? If you have used this tool, it will be fine. Otherwise, let me understand, because this tool which I'm using is much easier tool. But still, oh yeah, I did get some. Thank you, Acha. Ritesh Sahab has already used it. That's great. 28 answers. 61 of you feel all the above. Yes, yes. Here, there is nothing like that. This is wrong or right, but it's all about your perception. So I also agree, in fact, with the both set of people, institute as a whole, because institute already includes then the infrastructure with the resources, which are human resources and technology. Today we have got soft infrastructure. There was a time before pandemic we said infrastructure, but now it is soft and hard both. Like skills, soft skills and hard skills. How beautiful, see, new vocabulary we are getting. So thank you. And I still invite others to join. 29 of you have responded. All the teachers who are joining now, kindly click the link or otherwise slido.com and 55,000. So the second question is, in today's fast changing and technology enabled times, how challenging is teaching? If it is very challenging, please put as, you know, 5. How challenging you feel? Yes, please tell. Okay, okay. So 3, 4, 5, beautiful. Even we have 2. Even we have 2. Great. Very nice. Great. Very nice. Yeah, I'm seeing from both the sides. Yeah. So if you see this this is a really wonderful answer, to be honest. The reason being, the reason being here, what is the reason? That we all are heterogeneous, and you can see the outcome. 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 10% of you who feel no, it's not much challenging. And 4, actually all again are here correct. This is again exploratory. So this is the beauty of any academic institution also. That's what when leadership programs I do, I often tell the principals or the deans, keep focusing something. Thank you for your thumbs ups. That yes, it's important. Let's not expect from every dean or every HOD to be confident with any particular technology or style of teaching. Thank you so much. This is a beautiful. Now the response, if I see in challenging, it is 4.2. Be very honest is my request. This is the reality. And the STTPs like this will enable you. Today is the first day. They will enable you to do more. Thank you. Thank you. And the third question, respecting time. What methods do you use to engage your students in on or offline? Beyond chalk and board, it's understandable, so I have not written. Could you write any method? What methods? So I will leave it here. I will go back to slides and I will come back to this slide a little later. So this question I've open-ended, I have left to you here. So I do not want you to do multitasking. Okay, GD and activity and games. Wow, wow. So please do write. And as and when, you can switch over the windows of WebEx and Slido. That's the beauty. I hope you are attending from laptops. It will be much easier. Even if you are on the phone, you can do it. See, as I'm talking, I got so many answers. You can see. Wonderful. Two-way communication is a great answer. Thank you. Right now, you are communicating. Right now, we are into two-way communication. Quizzes, industrial examples. Now, again, see, this is an example where activities and games, more than one have answered. So AI powered tool is making this grow in the size. And this is the way, as a teacher, we can know. I ask often in my classes with students, what is the toughest portion in this module? And they answer this. So many of them, they have to copy the syllabus word. So when they answer, we can get to know the reality of the syllabus, what is tough for them. Otherwise, it's really little tough for them to be answering it completely. Great. And we are coming to the halfway. So any suggestions for me to improve, you can put it on the chat. And I'm perfectly fine to learn with your remarks to improve. So your opinion matters a lot. And thanks for sharing this outcome. So the path ahead, I will take up a slide on NEP. And NEP does talk about a couple of things in terms of, this is the first time, in fact, it is talking about producing global citizens with Indian values. First time we are talking about Bharat word. And the focus is very high on a right curriculum through a right pedagogy. Perhaps pedagogy was never as important as now. And I feel so fortunate when I became a student of pedagogy beyond food technology and food engineering in the year 2017. And I never knew that will be my core bread and butter because I get solace and satisfaction when I enable teachers and students community also on this. So the policy is 66 pages, but to just help you, this one single slide I have made uh, because the words which you heard from our the lead keynote speaker, Sandeep sir also, is talking about, this is the policy which talks about learning outcomes, graduate attributes, not only engineering, for all the programs, this graduate attributes, otherwise we use for engineering programs more because of MBA, creativity, critical thinking, innovation. This is all known to you, but the promotion of diversity, right now you saw the diversity in Slido. Some of us came immediately. Some of us took 4 minutes to also come. Perfectly fine. Thumbs up for your participation, actually. So there will be diversity. And this policy talks what is happening in Rajkot is more important for Marwadi University and in Rajkot and its suburbs than happening in Chennai. It's something like that. So local needs with lifelong learning. And the 5 pillars are access, equity, affordability, accountability, quality. So that's something really nice with multidisciplinarity and futuristic. So drawing some aspects and talking the topic is about holistic teaching and learning. What are the 4 important components? Cognitive learning, which is knowledge centric. Each teacher focusing on their subject is knowledge centric. Second is on upskilling. So please note, all of us, like, we feel we are strong in our subject. So please again pat your backs. That's our cognitive strength. But today, cognitive strength is not alone, because till until we upskill, learning, relearning, unlearning. You heard sir also. The third is very important, primarily in COVID times, it has come in the forefront. Otherwise, there were some institutions only focusing on social learning. But now all of us talk professional skills, social learning. And the last is EQ, emotional quotient based teaching and learning, where values come, attitude we speak, or emotional intelligence we speak. So this is the time, and it's important or pertinent to have teaching. What? Add to happiness. How a teacher can add happiness if he or she is also not happy himself or herself? Now we teachers have often complained about a lot of documentation, lot of this, that work. Even there was a year I felt that I'm not doing justice to my class because I was so much busy on accreditation works. So we need to really add happiness. Like, salad without salt and pepper is useless, or lemon for that matter. So what we do now, that sprinkling part is happiness in the classroom, and inviting, exciting, aspiring, and inspiring students. So let's have more involved. So that's why I'm repeatedly asking, if I'm not able to convince you or touch upon you or reach out to you. So right now, I wish to have involved participants. So I'm failing if you are not getting involved. So I was telling, as you plan to leave, let me know. In fact, don't leave. This you have registered for this. There's a lot of goodness in this 15 session 5-day program, and limelight on the students. When students become focused, that's student centric. We are going to talk in a minute from now. Very important is which teachers, we as teachers may do mistake. In fact, a couple of years back, I have done that. We may not accept the differential growth. When it comes to technology, each teachers were of different level of teaching, right? In terms of adapting to technology, adapting to understanding. Same way, students also have a different adaptation to our learning, our teaching. So please accept them. All of them will not give, I mean, like what the way you teach, all of them will not respond to the same. That's important for us to understand. So please accept. But limelight is important. That is student-centric teaching, which lots of creativity. So going ahead, technology is the new constant in the pandemic. Whatever you say, many of you would have two very, very common tool logos I've brought. We just use the Slido. Many of you must be using Google's Jamboard to exchange ideas, or majority of us use Google Classrooms, or for quizzes and all, hot potatoes, crosswords and all, and other institutions, Moodle, beat any. So with the constant LMS, which we talk about in terms of EdTech component in the institutions is LMS, with that we are using so many more things also. So that's the new constant technology. So the onus comes on the teacher, and the 4 dimensions which come are here. But don't worry, not only teachers, students are also equally responsible. So you can please do that. So feel free. So first and foremost, we just discussed also is cognitive upskilling, coming under the learning new technologies. It is told that AI, ML, DS, and all are not about only for computer science or computer applications or computer engineering graduates as teachers and students, but for all. So we have to really talk about fast adapting technology. The second point is on command in teaching and reaching. Many of us are excellent in research, but we also need to be confident, as some of you wrote, two-way communication. So reaching out. The third is evaluation, reflecting, self-evaluation. how to see how we are reflecting our own aspects. So reflecting in terms of inputs. After the session, I will sit and reflect how did I do. And the last is very important, which is on what? Being motivated. All these four blue colored letters are important for teachers. So with this, it's not only teachers. We just spoke. Learning is learners' responsibility. So learners or students, which we often meet, are what they have to do. We have to push them or gear them up for being open to learn and earn knowledge, much beyond marks only. Participate in the development. What development? Within themselves, what we say, development of the mind or intellectual capacities and thought processes. Also of the space, of the university, of the home which they belong to. And also collaborate with positive attitude. You see, you will agree that many of us talk about competitions and all, that's fine. But when we talk of more of collaboration, right now, Slido, we all collaborated. So it's more about exchanging. And I'll just show you the beautiful word cloud which you have made by your methods. So collaboration becomes more of sharing rather than competing, and negative energies come more on competing. So academics and marks, they're already doing, but others we can do lots of collaboration. And finally, our children have to be more strong in terms of their personalities, much beyond only earning marks or getting a job, but overall personality. You know how many of us do say that our children cannot come and present easily. They do not come on the video and audio in the online also. Otherwise, in our pre-pandemic classes also, they will not be very confident to just come and ask a question, raise hand, or say something. So it's really important for them to overall gain. And may I really draw your attention? Please make your students, as you teach, enable them to wear green attitude. World is facing challenges much beyond wars now, but we are facing challenges in terms of resources. So green attitude becomes so important, and certainly universal human values. For all those of you who are coming from engineering backgrounds, last year onwards, universal human values is a subject in engineering. So that's exactly, the world is changing now. Huge changes are happening. We need to make our children, our students, our undergrad, postgrad, our doctorate students, scholars, to come for this. That's why I'm showing you with bulb. Illumination is important, and that's why I'm showing. Moving ahead, how to talk about enhancing the learning outcomes. How? First and foremost, enable students to develop KAS. Can anybody of you would like to expand KAS? Would you please quickly put on the chat what could be KANS? This is certainly not Karnataka Administrative Services. Certainly something which comes to your mind in teaching and learning. What could be KAS? Yeah. Anybody? Would you like to please put on the chat any word? It will be great. I'm waiting for your answers. K for what? We have to enable our students to develop K, A, and S. A for, okay, first one I'll do. K is for knowledge. What could be A or S for? Any answers would you like to share? Any answer? Guess, we all are teachers. So what if we are not so correct? Participation itself is winning. So please put it on chat. It will be great. Yeah, anybody? Yeah, please. Yeah, answers somebody wrote. Huh? Awareness. Okay, good trial. Awareness. Okay. Anything else? Yeah. Attitude. Beautiful. Yes, A is for attitude. Absolutely. And what could be S for? Very important word today. It starts with that today, the discussion sometime in academia. Anybody? A for? Sorry, S for? Thank you, Sridharan sir. Thank you. Systematic. Okay, systematic. A good try. Okay. But skills, yes, absolutely. Dr. Keshwani, Keshavi Mehta, absolutely. Why you have written directly to me? Um, Keshavi absolutely rightly writes it is skills. So knowledge, skills, and attitude are something which are required. Nowhere we have written marks, please note, knowledge, skills, and attitude. So we all need to be today guide by the side rather than sage on the stage. This is really important. So yeah, you have asked a question. Yes, Dr. Archana, please ask a skill question. Yes. So skills are important. Thank you, Dr. Archana. Facilitate confidence building. This is also a learning outcome of teaching today. It is no more only completion of syllabus, putting a question paper, evaluating, and giving the degree. So what is important? Be the guide, be the mentor, and facilitate confidence building. Very important. Facilitate. Accept the learning differences and appreciate the efforts. All are important. Believe me, these are the learning outcomes which are desired. So how to do? Can we invite our students? This is a thought. Like we all use our pen stands and we have so much heterogeneity. Just like that, can we have something in terms of what? In terms of just four options, you can absolutely add more pen and write your. That would be great if you give answers right away. Which I was thinking when we talk of learning. So this is again for both online and offline. So when it comes to theory and lab, all them for more of interaction and participative learning, collaborative learning or cooperative. Alone from the classroom, when we are talking flip method, problem-based PBL for numerical based, where first the problem is given and then the theory is taught, something like that. That could be another method. Or in labs, in terms of active lab, today we have simulation, we have AR, VR, MR, augmented reality, virtual and mixed reality, or in terms of experiential learning. Another beautiful dimension which is added in teaching is self-learning. Inviting students for self-learning, learning through open resources, and MOOCs, massive open online courses. So very important also comes as peer. Believe me, our so-called academically weaker students can really learn much, much better from their friends because they understand what is their need. Try this experiment. I'm not saying complete syllabus, but a portion of that. So theory or lab classes, you can invite so many ways. I have not defined on and offline, but in present digital, this suits very much. So you can also add some pens and make it something which is known in terms of its utility. For example, if I have this variety, and this variety itself tells that yes, I have so many varieties of tools, and same way teaching tools are also present for us. So please try to do that. It will be great. So just for one common slide, I thought, what are the tools of active teaching? What is active here? Where student is the focus, as we discussed, where the focus is on the learner, the child, the student, not on the teacher. So when they ask, when they participate, when they answer, when they come and present, when they share, when they submit assignments which are not only copy and paste or directly available on Google, they come. So these are some of the methods which I'm sure many of you are using. That's why the Slido question was there. And this is the right time to see your answers. Sorry. The right time to see your answers on the, yeah, please see. 28 of you have answered. Many are common and beautiful answers we have getting, which was on asking questions, real life example, activity, stories, presentation, ICT tools. These are all your answers. So please, we all have written one word. This is the time which we can share with each other and pick it up for you, for yourself, some new methods. So once again, thank you for answering the question which was asked. So how exactly some of the very useful methods, this is derived out of many research papers. When students come and present as solo or in group, there are cases where some students will not be able to come and speak. So don't worry, make groups. Group is something in which we don't make students of their own, which I have learned in my student career, student when I became. The model is 2 plus 2 plus 2. I am writing so that you can understand for this group. So what happens is that when we make them in the group, two are the brighter ones. The second two is the average, and the third two is the relatively weaker. My one humble submission with the folded hands, which is not namaste right now. Whenever we tell a child that, hey, you are not good, you are weak, never tell only that. Because yes, the student himself knows in higher education, especially, they are all adults. They know that they are not good. So please tell them separately, individually, beta aap isme strong nahi ho. So we will make a group so that you can work strongly. And believe me, when you do like KYS, know your students. Well, I learned from KYC. So whenever I tried KYS, which is know your students, the child who is academically weak is very good in many other activities. It could be business activity of his home. It could be coding. It could be driving. It could be gardening. It could be music. It could be anything. So the child is weak in that subject or few subjects. He or she may not be completely weak in all the things. So my request, please do KYS. Please do KYS. KYS, never take a class. Another very important outcome I'm trying to give you, before you enter a new semester, take input from the previous teacher, the teacher of previous semester. They have handled them for 6 months, and it will be great if you know what they have done. So bring them, their inputs you take, and then take off. So I develop models, which is known as overall interactive case study models. Formats are there of KYS, formats of there, because the teacher, fifth semester teacher hands over the sixth semester teacher with that format, much beyond attendance and marks. And a child could have been has faced some calamity in the home, and he or she has scored low. So somebody died in his home. Assume post pandemic we have now COVID orphans also. So it's so difficult right now to tell, hey you, tum bahut bure ho padne mein. So please see, before labeling, let's see what the child is going through. So please, this group, that's why I thought I'll tell you first. I could have brought in slide, but I wanted to share directly. So use more group power. Students know each other, what is happening at their end. So please make use of this facility. Anybody, I will leave the session with my email certainly. Anybody, if you feel that you want some ready-made models as formats, please bank upon me. I will share my Excel files. And as teachers, we do share. So I'll be happy to share, and I'll be happy to customize also for your institution. So I do SWOC, SWOC, and then I enable. Many colleges have taken my help there. So please KYS you do, and then you see the power. Because it's a 90-minute session. But when I do day long training, I share many videos where my child who was a diploma to engineering, they have entered. She has never opened the mouth in the class. They have tried, and they have given a video assignment. Beautifully they have they have spoken. Do you know this child, when she spoke, when it was after 5:30, when the whole college left, and in the garden of the college they have recorded, because six members have to be together for recording and all that work. So you see what teachers, as a teacher I could not do, students group did. So to you it is very simple word presentation, but actually if you dive into deep, same perspective of what Dr. Dhananjay was mentioning, the plane looks so small, and in the airport the plane is gigantic. Say exactly is that. Ask the child who's unable to speak. The second is, many of us do real time case study. My God, COVID has brought out case studies of all the dimensions. So earlier I used to say Harvard Business Reviews, HBRs, but now you have, why only for management and engineering? It's for all. So please pick it up, real-time case studies. And your children will be using the higher order thinking skills of Bloom's, and they will give you very good case study. One more thing, my request. I will tell you, when I was showing in 2018, when I had launched this. So what happened? A teacher came running to me who experienced it, she told, ma'am, you told all will come and present. Do you know only 60% students present, 66% students presented, ma'am, 34 did not present. Then I told, okay, what is 66 in this percentage in terms of mathematically is 66, where it comes in division, first, second, third. She told, ma'am, we are 60 and above is first class. So when first class, they've already learned why we feel that they have to do so. With, more than half of the class is already done. In first or second go, don't expect all students to listen, all to do. I invited all of you on the slide. Did we all come? There are cases, some of you are working in home, some of you are working in institution. You are logged in, but you are in another important work. So how would you do? Some of you had to leave a meeting because you were told to come to another HOD's meeting. Suppose. So it could be any and many things, and already you are in different time zones, for example. So I cannot infer, oh, they are not attentive. Oh, I am not good. These thoughts should not come. So never, I was telling you, accept differential growth, differential outcome, differential marks, differential interest. Our job is to keep doing. That teacher who did 66% success in first go could attain in the next semester 78%. But in 2 semesters also it was not 100. But 78 is huge. Appreciate that. The third is well known to many of us, role plays, especially MBA teachers do, or BBM, BBA do, learning with blended environment. Right now we are blending tools, PowerPoint slides, visual, lot of things is happening, and we have a blended environment. Many at Marwadi could be sitting in one TV, and many teachers could be attending right now. It could be blended environment. And when we attend together, we talk each other, eye to eye, also face to face, non-verbal gesture. The next is simulation. Please bank upon IITs, NITs. They have produced so many things for in public domain, and there are many experiments for non-computer subjects also. So please try. One is Amrita Lab, which Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham with NIC of Government of India, Ministry of Electronics. They have developed O Labs. I'm sure you also know. So please use quizzes, crosswords. Many of you gave already answers, so you know it. Conference participation. I will take a few seconds on this. Many times, like right now, many of you are attending. As HOD, when I used to see some of my teachers were attending only for certificates, I had to devise a method. Whenever I went for a conference, I used to come and explain to my team what did I learn or how what I presented, be it invited talk, be it whatever. Same my teacher started doing. Same I experimented and extrapolated for students. When we used to sponsor a child from the college, many a times when we attend free, we are very careless. Again, it's a human psychology. अगर हमने पैसे खर्च किए हैं तो we are very careful. If it is free registration, okay, we will see that attitude can come. So a smart leader, what he or she will do, they will say, you have attended this STTP or my children attended the conference. They will come back after 5 days, 2 days, 1 day conference and they will present to the entire class. Do you know how sincere the students became after this experiment successful at my end? So I'm sharing with you, presentation by student is great, provided participation is serious. And the last is wonderful, better than me and you. Animation and videos are being made by students. I really mean it. They are making wonderful work. So this cannot happen without active learning. And to exemplify, I asked you some minutes before, how are you feeling? This was the reason. When I blend very finely the hard and soft skills, I repeat, my subject skills are hard skills, knowledge centric, cognitive. But if I, right now, if I'm working, like today, I'm also fasting. But if my mind is there somewhere else in that going to temple, this, I assume example. So I will be a little restless. So that's why it is very important to analyze soft skills also. So please see, my 2 years experience with NPTEL at IIT really has given me this forum to share that please try to use very simple. You can plan right inside are the activities. As simple as negotiation can be tried so much with art of you can judge. Uh, Pitching through presentation, you can see there how much they are good in art of presenting. What more, self branding is also so important. Any child who presents well, any speaker who presents well is self-branding example. So these all ways we can blend both hard and soft and huge possibilities come. So if you want your children or student centric, you need to depend on nothing which all of us know is revised Bloom taxonomy. We say RBT, but in general language, we say Bloom's taxonomy. RBT is different because it is action verb oriented. And Bloom's taxonomy is resting on nouns. So we say revised Bloom's, and this beautiful picture is from that very good website, Teach Thought. You can just Google it, you will enjoy, like me. So left hand, it starts with these, which is nothing but the lower order simple skills to remember, to understand. So this is good for to apply also. This is good for question paper making, but take higher evaluation, creation, and analyzing for their activities. And this is what I'm trying to show you. I wish you take a screenshot of this slide because I have spent a lot of good time on many YouTubes. Wonderful speakers like Sandeep sir, I have heard, or AICT or UGC. In fact, AICT, I also deliberate. And collectively we work and we try to write. It makes high sense to come up only out of low order thinking skills, keep them for your 40 marks under autonomous systems, under universities. Tests are reducing now. NEP has also made it important. So I think Gujarat is also the state to implement this year only. So remembering, understanding, applying, keep it for question papers, but more of continuous internal evaluation, self-study, projects, other assignments, activities which we just narrated so much in this slide, this slide and this slide. Please bring it for your 60% or at least 50% marks. What is that? In terms of applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. What are these examples? You can see here. You can please use these. Could be projects are the best tool are projects, not only end semester or last final year, but mini. In engineering, we have now first semester onwards projects now, all thanks to pandemic. Capstone project in the mid of the degree. Personal projects. My children now write this words in their resume, personal projects. Only from 2021, I'm seeing this word of freelancing projects. Okay. In NPTEL, IT Madras, I teach students who are the toppers in the nation. These are the children who use freelancing projects. Otherwise, some children will have folded hands like this, if you can see my hands. And when the teacher will tell, oh, I will do. Otherwise, let me relax, like this hands. No, 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 really. Time is different now. Flip method, wonderful, wonderful. Demos, make your children come and do the demonstration. And the best word today is internship. Gone are the days when internship was only for engineering or management. It is internship for all today. So please use it, internship. Please bank upon it. Where is the teaching and learning directly in lectures here? Please see. So I'm trying my best to tell you, and I'll remove my annotation so that if at all I can show you its clarity better, you can see. So this slide is captured complete Bloom's taxonomy as well as the application of Bloom's in various activities. Please do not underestimate the power of gamified tools. We were just using it, and we are going to use one more minutes from now. So I openly say it makes high sense to do this. This all is student centered. This all is for enhancing teaching learning outcomes. So as I come towards the end, let me draw your attention. What are the student friendly? Permit me to use this word, student friendly. My God, there are teachers who love this word, but there are also teachers, though they have told me don't spoil students. One or two, in a group of 60, once it happened with me, one senior teacher told, madam, all is good, but let's not be very friendly with students. See, this friendly, I don't want to say, come, better, saath mein chai piyo. No, not at all. They I will not say must or they should, even if they don't stand when you go in the class. And by the way, after online, all the more nobody is standing as such, because in digital they are yet to come out of the habit to keep sitting like this with video and audio off for the classes. So it's much more our learning gaps now. So please come for the student friendly means where children or child will be charged to doing some work. That is for charging them up. A phone without charge, we keep seeing, suppose if my battery right now, it is fine, it is something 69. When my phone is not charged 10%, you should see my face if I'm going outside. Oh, I have to be very cautious. So I'm intensed that if the phone is charged, yes, I can use it, I can make presentation also through the phone. So please note it. It's so important to use. These are some of the ones which I have drawn from again, this is out of those research papers which talk about student friendly, which have met with high success. So they are here. So first is you give them reality based work, augmented, mixed or virtual. They will enjoy. Please call them for infographic use. I use Canva with so limited efforts. But our children, they are so strong in technology enabled creativity, which is why infographics. We all complain they are not writing well. Yes, but can we give them some activities, assignments for journal writing? JOR, much beyond research and review paper. Can they do technical writing, brainstorming? This is very successful activity in online method also. Offline, to wow, but also in that. And those children, initially, they will not come on video. They will start with audio. They will also start coming on the video. This is something which I've again learned from IIT DIY labs. Some NITs also have started do-it-yourself labs where teacher does not go, where professor and head does not go, where dean does not go, but only students go. A child of electronics is enjoying computer science. A child of civil is enjoying MBA. Is all passion projects. See the word passion projects. So please, in fact, there are sessions in institutions where I take this slide only for 1 hour. You can imagine. But anyway, I'm just giving you as a spurt, as a just a bubble. But many of you must be doing. Many of you have a capacity to take it much higher. And I wish at this point of time, you also please do share how you wrote. How correctly Provost sir was mentioning that some of you lead now the programs and we also come as attendees. So I wish. So visualization tool is great, powerful tool, both in off and on. One more is there, which I will try to write, that do also invite them for gaining and sharing the pain. What happens is that this gain and share, like whatever you gain is so not that it is easy to share, but there are some of us who cannot share our pain. So also call them to invite. Like Monday classes, you ask students, what did you enjoy the Sunday lunch, for example? Tomorrow, Tuesday, how did you celebrate some of them? How did you use the holiday which at your end on Mahashivratri? So use these two words, gain and pain. It helps a lot for unfolding the students. With this, can I invite quickly all of you for one more game? This is a gamification. And again, many of us have used. If not, you can just scan, or easier method is to log into the menticom.com and come. I will just put the link on the chat. So we will spend 5 minutes on this before I summarize. So this is now one more has added. So this is a beautiful thing. And oh, sorry, I have to put it on the chat. Some seconds I will take to put it, to activate this screen. So I have put the link on the chat. Will you please come on the Menti? And I am coming, activating it. It takes sometimes some time. So please, meanwhile, as we have some seconds, put your questions on the chat so that, or any disagreement or agreement. Why only questions? Any thoughts, any opinion which is worthy for me to learn from you? This is the time. It is, you are most welcome to share. And I will like to present this. Yes, certainly. But let me see your chat right now. Anything is there. Kindly feel free. Kindly feel free. To all 80 of you, I'm sharing, including me. So yeah, please come. So I'll be presenting it. Kindly come. We have only 23 minutes remaining, and I'm sure I can justify this 23 minutes in this. Oh, sorry, feedback has come first. No, sorry, it has come to the last. Give me a moment, I'll correct it. Yeah, this has slided down. So yeah, I am here, and please join. Click the link to join. Otherwise, I will just show you menti.com, and this code comes by itself. So I could not do 55,000 easy one. This code is 48 11 90 22. On my screen, you can see I'm sharing that screen. So right now, please, I request you to join, all of you, and I'll take my reading glasses to see the numbers which is coming in smaller. Yeah. Right now, only 8 of you have joined. Can I really invite all of you to join? Experience. And if already you have done earlier, so it will be wow. If not, you just experience it. This is now we are collating our learning of those last 70 minutes. We are collating. Now we are converging. We were exploring in the previous tool, Slido. Now we are converging. So I'm really thankful to you in a 1.5 minutes, sorry, 1.5 hours, 90-minute session. I have to thank particularly all of you who are participating and for your collaboration. Thank you, really. And the session is not ended. This thanks is not for that. But please come forward and click the link or menti.com and the code which is on the screens. I request organizers to please motivate our participants to do. I cannot wait too long because time is running. So meanwhile, I'll stop sharing for some time if that is the case. So any point anybody has a thought to share, you can please do that at this point of time.
To all the participants here, I would like to mention learning is experience. Unless you experience, everything else is just information. So, very less quoted quote of Einstein we use in our sessions: do experience, then only the learning takes place. Otherwise, it is
Absolutely.
just information. So,
Yes.
go on Minty, go on the link, go and experience it, send it, and see your response on the screen. It is so bubbly to see, and my response on the screen. So everybody do participate. We have 80 participants here,
Please come forward. I
and I
request.
can see
Really.
that the cell phones have become nowadays the extended part of the body. So everybody, we carry this cell phone. You can simply scan the QR code and send it if you have another device.
Absolutely. So you see beautiful emoticons given to you, the symbols, and enjoy that. This is what is social emotional learning. This tool combines student centric with social emotional. So we have to feel good to do something, and it brings you some way, some words by which. So try this tool with your students also. Both which I'm sharing is freely available. This particular, because I've used more slides, this is subscribed version at my end. But nevertheless, try with free first. You will enjoy. Looking at the time, I have waited 2 minutes. Thank you, Dhananjay sir, for your inputs on a beautiful quote from Mr. Einstein, the great Einstein. And so yes, without experiencing, it's just passive. Thank you. So many of you have joined, and I wish as we play, others also join. This game reminds me of the living legend, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, the absolutely amazing orator of our times. We have seen decades of our growing with his huge work and master storyteller.
Somebody has indicated that they are not able to respond. Is there any
Is it?
technical
Yeah, because I've
issue?
not started. Yes, sir. I have not started. So I'm
Okay,
waiting for others member. That's why. So
fine.
I've just, yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir, for that. So I think now looking at I'm sharing the screen. Yeah, I think the screen is visible. Yeah. So what I'll do, I'll activate the file so that the question has flashed on your screens. And fastest finger first. So TLL, which is teaching and learning, must develop attitude towards what? What we have to do. Will you like to write the best answer? Yeah. Great. In the first 10 seconds, we already have 10 answers. Great. I really wish others who have yet to join, आप आइए, just click the link and join. Please आइए. अगर click नहीं हो रहा है, तो just in another window, menti.com, and the code is on this screen, 48119022. This is automatically given, so I cannot, this is a little complex, I agree, code. But link is direct, you can just join. And 30 seconds over, and 23 of us have answered, and all 23 of you are right. Wow. Wow. This rarely happens with me that in first go all 23. Otherwise, normally at the end, I say, all of you, if you're right, I am the winner, I say. But right now, all of you are the winner because you have done a great job. Developing desired skills, knowledge, and be agile is the requirement. Absolutely. We move on and it will show a leaderboard. Now, this is a demonstration again. When children see their names, we all are teachers, even we are happy. For example, I see, wow, the Tapan Kumar Trivedi ji is the fastest and he has earned 927, followed by the lead organizer Dhananjay ji, followed by Dr. Archana. For me, all of you are winner. I will not read the name because that's not right on my part, but yes, wow. And absolutely, some of you are rightly appreciating through emojis is there. So this time it makes us happy, and happy means at the good happy hormones come in the blood, and they give us motivation further. So use do bank upon your happy hormones, I'll say. So now we will come to the second question. Eyes on your screens, and here it flashes. More than me and you, children enjoy, and even we enjoy. And at this point, yeah, to enhance the teaching learning, so much things we discussed. What do you think we should do as teachers? An easy question, but I'm sure you will like to answer. Yeah. Wow. I still request others to join. Even if you're busy, take out 5 minutes and join. Great. So the answers are, I think me and you both agree, impart knowledge, which is common to all. Inspire, make students think and do. Absolutely. Majority of you are right. Nevertheless, जो by chance अभी लग रहा है wrong है वो wrong पूरे नहीं है क्योंकि एक एक option I have put wrong like award marks. This is our by default duty or assistant placement. That is another duty. But our main role is to make them think and aspire beyond knowledge imparting. Thank you. All those who have joined, I request Dhananjay sir if you can put copy and put the link so that the teachers who are joining now or they would have left the meeting for technical error and all, they can join now because they will not be seeing the chat otherwise. Student,
Yes,
or
I
I'll
can do
only
that.
read plain also. Student-centric learning, SCL, and student and social emotional are in alignment with what? What do you think is the right answer? It is in alignment with what? I just picked up the chat. Yeah. So the teachers who have joined now, you can click the link and please come. So I know, acha, acha. Oh, sir, thank you so much, sir. Okay. Sir's message I was reading. Yeah, absolutely. NEP and OBE is in alignment. Not alignment. Actually, emotional intelligence is something which is in social emotional learning. If you are EI, if when you don't get irritated fast, when you do not feel jealous, when you do not feel insecure, you are already emotionally intelligent. Great. So this is it. And moving on to the next question is here. So I have put the link once again on the chat. Any of you who wish to now join, please experience. This is MCQs, true, false. I have put one word answer, many variety I've tried just to make you enjoy. Examples of 21st century skills as required in today's time are what? What do you feel is the best answer? Please write. And I wish, yes. So yeah, we have more answers now. See, any of you have joined now also. Great. This is again differential choice. Perfectly fine. We respect it. Absolutely. Problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, and communication are something which are 21st century skills. Brand is not a skill, neither is results. Okay, so but great. Wonderfully you are playing. Thank you so much. And this machine is doing collating all your answers and giving the leaderboard in the final. I'll request Dr. Ritesh and Dr. Dhananjay to appreciate with a small appreciation mail to all our winners. Rupali ji has won with highest points, followed by Subba Reddy Sahab and Bhavin. I mean, like for me, all 10 of you are the winners here. All 31 of you are the winners because you played so well. Thank you. Thank you. This is fun. Sometimes we also need to win, share, and all, and experience. What about this? What do you say about this? This is a beautiful diagram, thanks to Google Images, for this social emotional learning, where our children are aware of themselves. They are socially aware. They manage themselves. Relationship they manage. You know, some of us are also like that. A teacher who can manage himself, herself, home as well as department, you will see they are pretty strong in classroom also. They don't lose temper. They in their classes cheating also is reduced. I have seen in Bitch Pilani, my experience is this. So please see, if it is true, thumbs up. If it is false, thumbs down. If this question, the line is SCL significantly helps in increasing classroom teaching outcome. And if you love the question, put your heart sign if you love the question. And that's the way today we can join. And you see, I'm seeing hearts flowing on my screen. How beautiful experience it is this. So this is the beauty, and I've captured from a screenshot. And see, hearts are flowing on emojis also. Absolutely. Heart is not only the love which we sometimes feel that Valentine Day and all. No. To feel good, the three H, the head, the heart, and the hand are to be in alignment. If you don't feel good, you will not be able to do good also for long. That's why they say the mother, the lady, or in post pandemic, the general neutral kitchen, anybody who is cooking food must feel good. Otherwise, the negativity in the mind will also transform in the food. And this is the spirituality angle I am trying to share, which I have gained. Okay, switching over. Can you share 2 to 3 terms which you learned new in this session through this STTP? So much organizers have worked, and I attempted my best to an extent. But would you like to share your words? And again, I'll show you same like Slido, the word cloud. So sometime this type of question you can ask your students. What was the toughest topic of the module? And they will write. They are normally when I without tool, they never used to tell me directly. You know my experience. But now since pandemic, I'm using a lot of tools. They openly tell me, and knowing them is much easier to me. So our outcomes are much higher. Appreciation, interaction, brainstorming. Wow. Okay. Please, all of you write. All. Maximum 3 words, minimum 1 word to you write, please. JOR. What is that? Joy of reading? Is it JOR? May I please know this beautiful? What is this JOR? Joy of reading or what? I like this JOR. Yes, DIY. To be honest, normally acronyms try to write on the capital letters. It will be KY. Yes, thank you. One of you have written. I did not show in slide, but in the pen I was trying to write. Thank you. DIY, KY. Yes. NEP 2020. Wonderful creativity. Keep writing, keep writing. Time is ticking, and the bell will ring. Please write. Passion projects. Yes, please try passion projects in your institutions from this STTP. Please take. Absolutely. KYS is the biggest till now, maybe more than one has done. More than one has done. Wonderful, wonderful. So before I summarize, may I request you to write, as already feedback many of you have written. I will leave it here, but I'll come back to the slides because your feedback will be my gateway for my next sessions in other part of the country. So please do write it. And as I'm not sharing that screen, be as honest as possible. Feedback does not mean only positive. Feedback means heartfelt outcome of your session. Suggestions bring out, pour it out. So with this, you were playing. This was playing, and that was a tool which we used, a convergent tool, to know our efforts. As passing, I shared with one of the slide in the blue flower. That is social emotional, where the brain and the heart join together, and the beauty is as good as a pencil box. You know, have you seen a pre-primary or primary child? They are so happy when they open the colorful boxes. This is the beauty. Try to open, and this is through because to talk about success, it comes completely by not only IQ, not only gold medal or high impact factor papers, but also your emotional questions. So I leave you with these thoughts as a summary that if what do you think? Building trust, teamwork, empathy, encouragement, and appreciation. All these, do you think they have magical effects? All these things, do you also agree? Adding challenges for the bright students. We spoke about weak, but what about the bright? So this something is there which we can do. Incorporating attainable activities for students, banking upon the technology-enabled TNL, using real-life examples. Please take these points some other time, take in your HOD's meeting, dean's meeting, and deliberate one semester and try to see the outcome. This is all student-centric points. If you want to enhance teaching and learning, the route is student-centric. And that's why I bring many colors in the bulb. It's very difficult to show with one color. So it is magical. That's true. These many things are really helpful. So with this, let's wrap it up with the World Economic Forum, which talks about many things what we spoke in this session also, be it critical thinking, complex problem solving, technology use, resilience or stress tolerance, all which comes from emotional intelligence, all are required. Please see this website, World Economic Forum. For the year 2025, the future of the job reports talks about these skills in the manpower. So we need to make our students ready for 2025 with these skills. So and let's embark, let's walk the path together. The paper is by Treading and Fatal in 2009, but never it was so true, which has happened in pandemic. That teaching and learning is like a cycle. It is never with a motorized cycle or a bike or a Mercedes Benz. But it is cycling is why, because manual work we have to do in teaching and learning. It is not automation and we relax like this, but it is all about we still lead with the cycle seat. We have the main handle which we capture, but our students also are here, which they are there in terms of their seats. And now they have also normal cycle has one pedal, set of pedal, but there's two set of pedal in this cycle because they also need to ride with the 21st century skills. And they should do rather than wait for teachers' notes or teachers' given projects. They have to raise their voice. Whatever we do, if we cannot connect with public product, it has very limited meaning. So that's why the torch also has come in the cycle. And please read for yourself the words which are there in terms of teacher's role. Inspire, guide, empower, and all. And children have to do a lot of reflection, doing, experimenting, and learning. So let's walk the path. With these words, I have to thank you. This thanks is for all of you for your time on today for this session. So with all humility, I thank you. And in particularly, I invite your thoughts, not only now, overall, bring your thoughts and questions. And thank you, teachers. Thank you, organizers. Why? Because getting a beautiful chance like this is always a beautiful opportunity. And that's why, to the Vice Chancellors, to all the deans, and particularly to the organizers, my humility felt and gratitude with all the speakers as listeners, all the teachers who were participating. Thanks to individually each of you. I remain reachable at these handles. Connect us with the LinkedIn. We share with each other, we live. Or my WhatsApp, suppose something is there, we could do. So we wish to not just to meet on one STTP or FTP, but something which we can draw upon later. With this, I leave the baton back to the organizers for questions or thoughts. Thank you so much.
Wow, what a wonderful session. Amazing.
Thank you.
So we have a couple of minutes left with us. So if anybody has any question, you raise your hand. I will allow you to unmute yourself and speak and shoot the question to Pratima Madam. At the same time,
Please.
we would also like to listen to Rupali Borhade Madam because she was the winner of that activity. So if she can deliver 1 minute winner speech also, so I will make her co-host. She can unmute herself and speak. Now I have sent the request to unmute Rupali Madam. You can speak. What
Please.
did make you to win that? Because was it technology? Was it internet connection? Was it your agileness or what? Can you share in 1 minute? We have still a couple of minutes left with us. Participant has any question, raise your hands.
Dr. Rupali, are we listening to you? Please come forward. Why don't you come on the camera as well? Please. The non-verbal communication through the facial gestures makes so high meaning. Please come forward. Any thoughts, any question, any disagreement, any other opinion, please come forward. Thanks for all the wonderful remarks on the chat, which I'm reading right now. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry to see some of the comments which you could not respond on the Menti. I had shared the link once again. I don't know, sometimes refreshing can help, but I'm sorry. That time I did not read. I was on another screen. That's why. Nevertheless, wonderful to have your participation. Yeah, any thoughts? Anybody wants to say? Why don't you summarize any of you? That will be great if no question. Please, any of you. It will be great. Otherwise, that also host has to do, which I don't want to trouble them. Please, any of you? This is known as pin drop silence. And as teachers, we always do not appreciate. Correct, na? Please come forward. Anybody, come.
Right, those who have here written, they can speak also. Now I can see hands going. There are 73 participants so far. Raise your hands or put it in the chat box you want to speak. I'll give you the rights to speak. All right, by the time they raise or they come up with, Patel Kevin Jayesh Kumar says, thank you so much, ma'am. Very good session. So wonderful for your comments. So one thing I would like to know from Dr. Pratima Khandelwal, madam, will you be able to share the slide deck with us, which we have to share with them?
I would send in a PDF fashion. I will certainly send.
Right.
Thank
you so much. Sure. And all the participants, your attendance is being captured by the tool itself. So you will be only able to get the certificate when you have 75% attendance mandatory. And after 5 days, we'll float a small 20 questions MCQ also, so that you should simply not switch it on and go and do some other work. So as far as the eligibility for the certificate is, you need to complete 75% sessions. Most of them, we have 14 sessions lined up with you. You can calculate, and then we'll float 20 questions from all these 5 sessions on last day. And once you complete it, we will be able to issue the certificates to you all. And I'll just quickly share the schedule and topics for the benefit of everybody. Here on my screen, I'll just
Dhananjay sir, as you do that, can I invite Keshavi? Please come forward and say, you have written to me, now you have written here as well. That's really nice. Why don't you come forward and summarize something? Would you like to do?
Coincidentally, Keshu belongs to my team.
Oh, great. That's
Keshavi
right. Oh,
Mehta,
great.
you are the
All those
co-host.
great. Please come forward.
Keshavi Mehta, madam.
Keep up your 4CS prestige, Keshvi. Come up.
Yeah, ma'am, definitely. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing good. I'm unable to see you on the screen. I'm still, where are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Please come. Yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon, everyone.
Very good.
Today I'm listening you third time. First time when you were campus. Second time during pandemic you held one session.
Right.
So it is always great to listen you. And I enjoyed this session really. And also I am pursuing some education related degree. So it is very helpful to me as well.
Wow. Great. Thank you. Fine.
Wonderful.
Okay, then thank you. Sometime we have to respect, sometimes some of us, I'm sure by every session, many of you will come forward and speak also for the benefit of organizers also. Pumped and they also deserve such a wonderful work they have done. They deserve the return as outcome as well. Please. So with this, once again, thanks to all of you and looking forward to Heat Sridharan sir. My association with sir goes back as 2011. So always it's wonderful to listen and be in one or other aspect of Marwari University. So thank once again the organizers and to the Vice Chancellor sir for all this wonderful event, I must say, STTP.
Thank you.
Teachers,
Thank you so
enjoy
much.
a lot, learn and take the learning in your classrooms. You will
Wonderful.
see the beautification
Amazing.
happen automatically.
That's
With this,
great.
thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. We have been always privileged to have you with us, and it is your graciousness that you accept our request and arrange your schedules for us as per our time slot. And I'm telling you, it is very difficult. It was very difficult to manage all 14 top speakers here. You can see on the screen, day 1, 10, 30 to 12, Dr. Pratima Khandelwal, she delivered on techniques for enhancing teacher learning outcomes in alignment with the NEP 2020. Now the second session, 12 to 1:30, you can you can hold your chemical reaction in the body, if anything, hold yourself, because we are not taking a break. We are taking a break at 1:30 p.m. and that would be only half an hour break for the lunch. You have to cut it short and then come back sharp at 2. 12 to 1:30, Dr. Professor R. Sridharan, he is the Dean of Academics, and his title for the session today is Kickstarting Your Research. And those who are there in the research domain, I think they will love to have this session. And 2 to 3:30, we will be having lab to land few experiences, Dr. Sachin Madgavaning. So this is the session for today, and it's sharp 12:01. So we'll begin the with a single sound. So give me some time to make Sridharan sir presenter so that he can present his screen. Right, sir. So you are now the presenter, sir. The screen is yours. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Good afternoon, sir. Before starting your presentation, I would like to.
Please, yeah. Ritesh, sir, please introduce sir to the audience.
Yes, I think Sridharan sir is more. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, you
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Yeah, Sridharan sir is a kind of mentor to us. So we felt like without introducing him, we can go forward. But sir, I would like to formally introduce to him to all the participants as well. So good afternoon, Sridharan sir. Dr. R. Sridharan is a PhD in computer science from Madhuraj Kamraj University. He has published 50 plus research papers in reputed journals and chaired many conferences. He has also guided a number of research scholars in the area of cloud computing and security, IoT, e-learning, and blockchain. He has got more than 25 years of academic experience with leading education institutions at senior academic administration levels. He is currently the Dean of Faculty of Computer Applications and also Dean of Academic Affairs at Marwadi University, Rajkot, Gujarat, India. He has initiated the formation of Computer Society of India, that is CSI, Rajkot chapter as a founder chairman. At Marwadi University, he has been instrumental in establishing a finishing school with the funding support of 50 lakh from DST. And to be honest, he is a guide for everyone, guide and mentor to not only for the MCA faculties or the students, to for all of us as well. So I warmly welcome to you this talk, sir. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation. So now you can start your presentations. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Ritesh, Professor Dhananjay, for honoring me in this forum. And thank you, my friend Dr. R.B. Jadeja, Dean of Research, and after all, our Provost Sri Sandeep Sanshetty, for permitting me to share whatever I have got in the form of a small amount of knowledge in this forum. Right. Now, thank you, Dr. Pratima, my immediate predecessor in this session. You always set the stage on fire, and it will be a bit difficult for the next person to cope up at least 50% of it.
No,
And
sir. Sorry,
your
sorry.
deck
You
of
are a much better
slides,
speaker.
your deck of slides were quite innovative, and you used all the modern tools possible, and you really set the stage fire. The setting the stage fire I have been experiencing from you since New Horizon times. Okay, we
Thank
have
you.
a chairman, Sri Mohan Mangnani.
Right.
His secretary will be sitting outside. Whenever I need to seek an appointment to meet the chairman, sir, and I used to ask Manjula Madam, secretary, who is inside. If they say Dr. Pratima Kandelwal, I'll come back to my room, and I will try to postpone it by 1 hour, 2 hour. The reason being, when chairman sir talks to you, he will be in that level. You always talk about some innovative workshops, conferences, patterns, and all those things. So you just geared him up at that stage. Then he will be in that expectation. If I go immediately after that, maybe he say, no, you should do it like Pratima Kandelwal. That kind of pressure would happen. So what I say, I generally do that. But always it's a very pleasurable moment to listen to your session, and there will be definitely good amount of learning. Even though I didn't share it with you in the chat, I just wanted participants to deal with you, and I was also doing some last minute preparation for my session. It was wonderful. My sincere appreciations for you.
Truly
Now
fantastic.
over to the audience, and I will also do a little bit justification for the topic I have taken. We will come to the topic after that, the deck of slides later. Before that, I want to show you one product. This is quite commonly used. Can you recognize this product? Can you recognize it? I want some chat responses now. Can you recognize what product is that? Where it can be used? Yes. Ibrahim sir, can you mention? Can you name the part? You tell the name of the part and where it is used. There is something similar to that. This is different. This purpose is little different. Commonality may be there, but it's little different. Shall I check in the chat? I think during Shivratri, people won't be eating, but people won't be talking is also a protocol for Shivratri, because I don't follow any protocol for any of this event. Okay, mobile holder. Okay, mobile holder. Then how will you call this? Both of them are similar. This is also mobile holder. Both of them are similar, or it's different?
It has charger also.
No, it doesn't have a charger.
Acha.
Mobile stand, where can I be used? Can I use it on the desk or somewhere else? This can be used in the desk. Can it be used on the desk? Its base is not that much broad enough. No, exactly. Kathy, again, my team member has said movable stand for car. Let us make it very simple, and please freeze your responses. Let us concentrate now. So this is a mobile holder. It is not a stand. Stand means static, right? It is a mobile holder. It can hold a mobile this side, okay, and it can be used in the car, right? Why I am telling this? Let us derive at some connectivity now. So 2 years back, I wanted to buy a mobile holder for car. I was doing searching, that we call it as literature survey. So while I was searching, I came to know that there are 3 types of mobile holders exist for cars. Again, this kind of variety, it can be used to be clipped in the AC vent. Once you clip it in the AC vent like that, this space is free to hold your car. This is one vent based, AC vent based stand. Second is you have a broader area there that we call it as a dashboard. In the dashboard also you can fix a stand like that, right? Tisra variety, the third variety is you can fix a stand in the windshield. That is the big glass which is just before your driving seat. There you can fix it. Type 2 and type 3, they use the vacuum mechanism, right? Like the one which lizards are using while climbing on the wall. So once you fix it, a gum is there in the form of a jelly inside, it gets sticked. It gets sticked permanently. Permanent adhesive is also there. It can get sticked, and it may not fall down. It may not fall down that much easily. 2 years back in that review, people discarded this model. Don't use this model because they may tend to fall down in the bumpy roads. When you are driving, they may tend to fall down, and it is not holding the mobile also properly. And it is so static, we are not able to turn. Suppose I want to change the orientation from vertical to horizontal, I may not able to, it just broken, it gets broken. Because of that, no reviewer was suggesting this model. Okay, Baki type 2 and type 3, there are some apprehension, there are some comments, all those things I saw. Then due to some reason, I dropped the idea of going for any mobile stand and left it. Now recently, I faced the necessity again. I wanted to buy a mobile stand because solo driving, I started doing. So map is a very important component. I cannot see the map and keep it down, and some holder was required. When I explored again, people say, the same reviewer or different reviewers, they say that go for this product. How come? 2 years back, this variety no one supported. Now, after 2 years, recently I checked with Amazon, a good number of reviews were there. Now, the product has got a lot of changes. Even though this is a clip-based AC vent-based mobile holder, the product which people used to buy a couple of years ago, and the product which is available in the market, namely in Amazon or Flipkart, is totally different. This particular man, I'm not doing any marketing, don't mistake me. This particular fellow is some Fortronics. Fortronics are kind of fellow, and it costs around 400 rupees. First innovation. whenever you clip it in the AC vent, in the bumpy roads, it is to fall down. So they have provided a lock here now. Are you able to see the small lock? You can lock it, so the holding is now gripped up. Now you can unlock it. Now you can withdraw the whole holder from the AC vent. Second problem people were facing, whenever I remove the mobile, the holder is also coming. Then I have to remove the holder, keep it and take the mobile. So every time when you fix it, when you remove it, it creates some sort of rashes on the body of the AC vent. So for that, they have got a button here. If you press the button, see, it is going expanded. Now you can keep the mobile. Then when you press it, it is going to grip it up. This is a second innovation, they said. Then people said like the orientation was difficult, horizontal versus vertical. So they have provided a ball here. Once you fix it, then you can move it as you wish. It is fixed now. My left hand is not moving, only the right hand is moving. So if you want to see a movie, you can do that. That's all. So what do we understand? The product which was discarded by majority of the people couple of years back, now the product is popular. It's a very hot sale product in Amazon. What about those two, type 2 and type 3? People are not talking that much like this because no people took that model type 2 and type 3 for innovation, innovating it and improvising that model. Whereas this fellow has done, he has addressed all the problems available in the model a couple of years ago. He has rectified them and he has got a patent also for this product, right? This is what the research. When you innovate, new researches will come. When you research, you will end up with a point of innovation. This is a cycle. Research and innovation leads to each other. That is a cycle. With this small introduction, let me start this my deck of slides now. What I should choose, screen or application? Pritesh, two options is asking. So let us select screen. Entire screen. Allow. So, how about my PPT? Are you able to see that?
Yes, sir. Now you have to
I'll
put it in
continue now.
presentation mode.
Yes, thank you. This is the title I prefer to choose for this, kick-starting your research. People, majority of you would be using a two-wheeler. Two-wheeler has got button starts nowadays, right? But the button starts may not be reliable at all the seasons, especially when there is a rainy season, there is a cold season. When the button start is not helping you, you have to go for kickstart. So Kickstarter is given as a secondary option in majority of the two-wheelers, right? So when the self-initiation towards research is not happening, somebody has to kickstart it. So that's why I kept this like that. We have these agendas as on today. We will have the definition of research basically. What are the research methods available and how to summarize them? What kind of methods are there? Why somebody has to do the research? Okay, what is the ending point? Where he wants to go? That's the objectives of the research. Okay, somebody does the research. This is what in the minds of most of the teachers, young teachers as of now, what I will get, what motivation I will get. That's the fourth agenda item. Fifth, is there anything like good research or bad research? If there are going to be, what are the attributes of a good research? Process flow, what are the stages in that? And certain do's and don'ts of that. Now the references, what I have used to prepare these slides, and more than that, I don't want any kind of many places I presented this. This is basically a consolidation of some of the senior officials who are very strong in the research. Especially when I was suffering to complete my PhD, I met certain people like I'm not able to conclude. So even at the stage of 3 years from the registration, I do not know what is research even now. So whatever they said, the motivation, I just poured it. Some references for the standard textbook of research methodologies also have been referred by me, and some of the resources in the web also has been used for this purpose. And I had a meeting with senior faculty of our management department. Uh, 1 minute, I have to acknowledge his name. I'm sorry. So Dr. Vinay Gupta, Professor Vinay Gupta, and as referred by my colleague Dr. Sunil Jacoria, we had a discussion yesterday because always to cross-check with whatever we plan to do. So he helped me out with certain philosophy of management research. And I'm going to show you a couple of my previous publications also. Whenever I want, I will quote them. I will take examples from my own publications. I have part 2 versions of some tips for article writing. If time permits, I will move it forward. Otherwise, that will be done during the next opportunity. Let us start the definition first. Okay. So in that definition, some of the words are bolded. This is my style of making presentation. The bold points let us basically concentrate and arrive at the full-fledged definition of research. Wikipedia is a wonderful source for any beginner to gain the information about something. I also used Wikipedia for this definition. It is basically a search of knowledge. You can trust Wikipedia because they don't publish any definitions of their own. If you browse through the Wikipedia pages, in the last they are quoting some references of very authentic sites. Okay, so nothing wrong in handling Wikipedia. So it's basically a search. We do search, a lot of searches, search for knowledge, search for wisdom, like that. It is also a kind of search of knowledge only. How you are doing, we rely upon, as a researcher, we cannot make any open statement without any base. So we need to rely upon a systematic investigation. You do some investigation, you find some truth, reveal it to the world, they will listen to you, they will acknowledge you. For that, you really need to have an open-mindedness. So computer people know that there are two varieties of systems, open system and closed system. Closed system means all the environmental inputs are closed. We are not able to receive any further inputs from outside. Open system, on the contrary, you keep entire thing open, keep the window open, keep the door open, everything open. Keep your sensory organs open, your eyes, your ears, nose, tongue, anything, touch. All these things you keep them open, allow the environmental inputs to pass through them to reach you. Then only you can be a researcher. One proverb you know that mind works when you are open. Parachute, like a parachute, right? Parachute also will work once it is open. So you need a openness. What do we do actually? It can be novel facts. All time doing only novel facts, establishing only novel facts will not be possible. We are not concentrating 100% on research. Our time is not devoted to a research for the entire day. All of you are faculties of some departments. You have your workload. You have your administrative load. You have to do the teaching, learning and other associated activities. You have to assess. You have to evaluate the papers. Plus, you have to do research also. So, it may not be possible to always find out something novel which no one is done in. The Nobel laureates would be doing that. Under our circumstances and our scenario, it can be either new or it can be either existing problem. What do I do with the existing problem? Take an existing problem, analyze what kind of solutions are available in the market, try to improve it, like the mobile stand, mobile holder I showed you some time back. Existing model you can take and you can try to bring some approximation or bring some innovation onto that and reveal it to the entire world. That also we can do. Basically, the STEM researchers will do scientific method. Generally, all researchers will do that. Scientific involves some experiment, getting the result, analyzing the result, compare it with the existing results of the similar type, then understand that what kind of advantages are available with your approach. So the main purpose, what do? We do the discovery, and once you discover, we will interpret. And in between them, we have a lot of methods to reach from the discovery to interpretance. So it will be some advancements to the knowledge, whatever you are possessing, right? Like I just saw Professor Dhananjay's session also. Like when the kids ask a lot of questions to the parents, no, when we are answering patiently, its knowledge database is increased by referential learning. So that is a kind of thing. So let us read the definition in full. Basically, the first paragraph: research can be defined as a search of knowledge, clear, or as any systematic investigation with open mind, either to establish novel facts or to solve new or existing problem. Either you go for new ideas or develop new theories, usually using the scientific method. So there are some more definitions. If your grandma asks you what is a definition, you cannot give the previous slide's definition. Okay, so we want them to live longer. So if you give this kind of definition, they may go mad. Research is nothing but research, right? Already is a layman's definition. Already something is there. Now we want to research to form a new solution or a new re-engineering solution, whatever it may be. We do right? There are main phases people say, like collect, classify, summarize, present. Collect, classify, summarize, present. What do you do in each one of them? It is indicated there. We'll also discuss it little more in the next slides. So there are many methods available. These are all in world level. This kind of research is going on. You compare your research. I saw a couple of doctorates also enrolled here. You saw your kind of research, what you have achieved so far. It would be definitely belonging to any one of the segment, or it may be a combination of one or two available in the list. Exploratory. We do not know what is the problem. We know that exists some, there may exist some problem, right? Maybe the poor service, maybe poor satisfaction, whatever may be the reason why my customers are not satisfied, why they are not happy. So all those questions, when you ask, you understand there is going to be some problem. What is the problem? That you have to discover. That kind of research is called exploratory. You may or may not give any concrete solution for the problems. Identification of problem itself is a research. Constructive. Take a problem. Once you identify a problem, you consider it, I want to solve this issue. Then you give a constructive solution for that. This is another type of research. Third, empirical research. Empirical research used majorly the humanities and management people will be doing, that feasibility of a solution. We have a null hypothesis. We have another hypothesis. Okay, what we arrive at it, we compare both, and we try to identify like which interval we are having that. So null hypothesis is some assumption, right or wrong, we do not know. With that we proceed, we arrive at another hypothesis which is actual or which is experimental. We compare both and we do that. Primary and secondary, if you want to deal with the data which is already existing, right? So that also you have to collect it from an authentic resource or published resource. Okay, that is called secondary. Already data is there. I want to use it for my research. Nothing wrong. You can do that. That is called secondary. If no such data are available for the suitability of your research team or research model, you have to collect them. You have to collect them and you have to use it for your experimentation. That we call it as a primary research. Qualitative, quantitative. Quantitative deals with numbers, right? We want the number, we want the percentage. Then we can compare both. In the result, what kind of aspects you have taken up is the qualitative. Sometimes qualitative aspect may contribute to quantitative also, and vice versa. Qualitative, it deals with the opinion, feeling of the people. As I mentioned just now, customer satisfaction, employee retention, job satisfaction, all those things are coming under qualitative measures. So in the previous slides, we have seen a couple of research methods. If you group them, you see ideally there are only three groups exist. Research methods, some of them deal with the collection of data. For example, we saw primary and secondary and so on. Some of them, they are helpful in establishing the relationship. It's like we say connecting the known things. Whatever is available, we connect them. So that kind of research we do, establishing relationship, evaluating the accuracy. Okay, that also we will do. These are the three groups of the research. So why? What is the objectives of the research? Where I am going to end, etc. First of all, it is like a problem solving, right? Take a problem and solve it. You do that. That is a research, but depends upon the size of the problem you have taken. See, students are also doing project at the UG level, at the PG level, PhD level. We are doing research. So that quantum, the size matters across all these levels. What basically the UG students do? The UG students, the mentality is know the tool, get aware about the tool and application. That's all. The application may be existing already. We don't bother, right? The application, hotel management system, all those. We encourage people to do that. There is nothing wrong. What they do? Their mindset is applying the model. Maybe it's a software tool like PHP or anything is there. He has to learn the tool as an opportunity, and he has to understand the different modules available in the system, apply it in the tool and present it. That is why he's learning the environment. Second level, PG level, little analysis getting added in the form of why and how. So he have to invent a new problem. If it is not existing, the questions are asked. It is already existing. What are you doing new? So we have to identify a new problem, or he has to do re-engineering of an existing problem and try to build a new product innovatively. Okay, new solution innovatively. This is happening at the PG level. For the PhD level, considering the majority of the people who are enrolled, registered as of now in this STTP, so considering the PhD level, what do we do? Sometimes it looks like the solution. Once you do the solution, you are not now ready for a thesis submission or something. You try to generalize it. You try to generalize the solution so that your solution can be applied on a multiple domains, maybe similar or little diversified. So that part you have to take it. If that part is not there, it may not be qualified for the PhD award. So initially we do exploration, then we do the perfect solution, and we do the comparison. Although there is a methodology available that should be followed very much. And each and every statement we make in the PhD, the proper referencing is also very much needed. That we will see after a couple of slides. So the objective is to discover answers, true, agreed. Truth which is hidden. Most of the truths are available. See, for example, management consultants are being hired by the industry to identify the problem. Why? We are not identifying. We know there is a problem, but the problem is there is less amount of interaction happening between the departments of the industry. You take up an industry, the problem faced by a purchase department may not be known to by the packers department, and vice versa. So what they never interact, there is no forum by which they all meet together. So for that purpose, they have to hire an external person, pay them well, and he will sit with you, understand, you will study, he will talk to you. They call it as a questionnaire, all those things. Then they collect it, they summarize it. We are agreeing. So somebody sometimes, if you are able to do, find the truth by ourselves, we will do. Otherwise, we may hire an external consultant also. So what do we do? Basically, gain a familiarity, okay, in a particular concept or a phenomenon, and try to improve upon that. And frequency also is very much essential. Every day we come to this university via a ring road, maybe a new ring road or a old ring road. So many accidents are also happening there. So if you take up a study like how to minimize the number of accidents happening in the ring road, that's a study. You may come out with a solution like there is a road divider, no? Like people can go from left to right and so on. So many opportunities are there. If you got around 15 opportunities, you narrowed out by 7 opportunities or 8 opportunities by which they can go. Otherwise, they get to go, U-turn and come back. That would reduce majority of the accidents. Something like that. So relationship between the variables is also very much important. What is existing? What is new? How they are bound by the relationship. So motivation is a general thing. Like people like young faculty may ask, like, why I have to do the research, sir? What is it? Number one is you are getting a respectable degree, research degree. When you get this degree, PhD, you write your name is, say, for example, Kathy. You write Dr. Kathy, Dr. Kathy Raitata, or Dr. somebody, maybe Rushika or somebody. You can just think, you see that thrill in that, even now without acquiring the PhD. So that is that power of this PhD. And my friend or somebody used to tell, like, there are 3 doctorates available. One is the medical doctor, one is some politicians where they get an honorary doctorate, and the third one is we people, academicians, who uh, do it, out of our hard work and this thing. Out of them, according to him, he says that the doctorates which have been done by the academic professionals are much more higher valued, because the methodology is so strong in your case, right? So, right. So, decide to face challenges. Life is full of challenges. You take a challenge and do. So, research is also like that. Many a times you feel like you are blindfolded. You do not know how to proceed, left, right, or something. Take march forward constantly and confidently. You will definitely do that. Desire to get intellectual joy of doing something concrete or creative. You have a thing like, I'm not wasting my time by spending my hour in the research scholar. Imagine that. Every one of you will have a 3 different domains. One, you prove yourself as a great academician. Any kind of forum comes, ultimately during the retirement stage, we have to go back to the original teaching mode only. Even though we may not be fit up. The other 2 domains I'll tell first. One is the administration. Third is a research. You just imagine, you do some great administrative job with one institute and get migrated to another institute. How much they can approve, they can recognize your administration work for them. You keep something, they will recognize. You keep that quantity X. Then Y and Z is there. Y is how good you are an academician. In that selection itself, they may ask you to make a presentation on a technical topic or a general topic, whatever it may be, how you are going to perform, your teaching skills. Third is the research. The moment you publish, your biodata is going to be expanded. The moment you do something concrete, and it may be in the form of some sort of contribution to the society as an academician, that will add, that is going to decorate your profile. So X is less valued, the administration, whatever you do it with the previous employer, while comparing with the Y and Z. This is my humble estimate of it. I don't say that they don't give value, they will value, but look at it, the eyebrows will rise when you see the publications, patents and products you have done. Okay. Similarly, the ability by which you are able to teach and handle different tools, and particularly the different segments of students, how are you going to cater to? That's why these 2 are taken up for a year. One is a teaching learning, and second is a research for this STTP. So desire to be service to the society. Some people do, I want to do, and ethically some of them are true, some of them are not true. So we want to do some service to the society, okay, contribute to the society, and desire to get respectability, as I told you in the previous slide. Is there any good research? Yes, good research has got certain characteristics. Number 1, whether the fellow has obtained the degree, completed the research through systematic processes. This is number 1. The way is systematic. Number 1, research methodology is followed step by step 1 to step last. Yes, agreed. Logical. At last, whatever you arrived at as a solution, whether it is logical, okay, people can believe it, people can use it further. Suppose you are not logical, people are not able to believe it, okay, you need to prove a lot. That's the overhead you are having it. So empirical and replicable. Empirical and replicable are also 2 desirable qualities of that. You are able to narrate the problem, pinpoint the solution, make it some sort of generalize. Replicable is there are some followers for you. They must be in a position to take your work further and still go further. That means that your work should not be at a dead end where others cannot take it up and then work further. So good research is a replicable research. So these 4 points: systematic, logical, empirical, and replicable. This is a process flow. Majority of the researchers, they follow that. First of all, the goal. What do you do? What do you want to do? That's a goal. The first one and third one, little confusing. First is identify the research goal. It is a broad aspect. It is not at that time the problem won't be visible, but you know that there is a problem. Okay, so I want to solve it. So that is a goal. I want to prepare a secure system for a cloud environment. Okay, I want to address a particular type of DDoS attack in cloud environment. I want to improve the customer satisfaction in a particular company, right? These are the questions are to be set as a goal for you in the first step. Second step, you need to do literature review for that. Without literature review, you cannot arbitrarily choose some problem and work on it. From the literature only, the guide and the student, they jointly pick up some problem. So literature review tells you the current state of the art in the research, what's happening recently, who have done what, how they are contributed for the problem, all those things to be studied in that. Then what do you do? From that, you take one particular branch. Okay, you feel like this particular branch can be further explored and I want to find a solution for that. That is going to be the problem. Formulating the problem follows from the literature review or literature survey. Then a model development. Okay, so one sort of concept like how we are going to do that. What is going to be the skeleton structure of my model or the algorithm? What are the steps involved? It may not be very accurate, but you try to do figure out the, it's like a top down, right? You figure out like what are you going to do. Acquire data for testing. Once you do the model, implementation is also important. Once you implement it, you have to test it. People should believe it. So you have to acquire the data. Data acquisition, as I told you, it may be primary or secondary. You acquire and then proceed. Once you get a data for your research, you would have identified some branch from the literature. The branch many people would have contributed. The contribution which is close to your heart, which has motivated you to further explore, that you keep it as a base, that you keep it as a model and compare that work, whatever values he has got with your model. That's we call it as result analysis. For that, acceptable test measures are available. You have to use them only, right? And accepted methodologies are available between STEM subjects and humanities and management, that you have to do that and show, reveal the significance of your approach over the similar existing approach. Then you have taken a problem, you have solved it. As I told you in the introduction part, you are going to do a PhD, you are going to qualify yourself for the PhD. Then comes the generalization and interpretation. Just think like whether your work can be applied, can be generalized, can be applied on more than one domain or more than one problem. If it is yielding that result, then the consistency will be talked much. That is done. Then you create a report, you have to present it in a proper way. Once the report is done, it goes to evaluators and you may have to clear the Viva. Viva is nowadays open Viva, open house, and public Viva, right? You have to answer to that. These are the general flow of the research work. So this is a very first step is quite significant. It also knows that what are you going to do. For example, the first step in research, it reminds a story like Alice in Wonderland. No? The girl Alice, she just comes out of the house and she's standing in the four corners of the road and asking another fellow like which direction I should go, left, right, or left, say, opposite or anything. Then the fellow asked Alice like, where do you want to go? She said, I don't know. I just come out of the house. I don't know where to go. Then you take any road. Since you are not knowing clearly like where do you want to go, you are not going to reach your destination. Then why do you are in a position to choose a road? You can choose any road and reach the destination. So that is the thing. Like first step is wrong. Everything will be wrong. You can't do anything. So this is very, very strong like a foundation to your research. It has to be done very carefully based on your personal interest. Sir, I'm interested in a blockchain. I'm interested in this, that, and all. You can tell. There are many areas are also coming up. You can explore in the internet. Like anything is fascinating, you can choose that. Or most of the things are it's a mutual understanding between you and a guide. You are getting the topic cleared. And again, your interest, your abilities, whether you have done some basic work in that, at least a small article, it might be a research article, it may be some article, may or may not have plagiarism also, whatever it may be. Have you done some work in that? That's added advantage. Or at least have you taken a class for students? at least couple of semesters in that domain. That are added advantage. I know the peripheries of that. I need to go vertically. So that kind of thing. The toolage of tools knowledge is also needed. So at the later stage the implementation comes, then you may not know that I do not know this particular tool. If you are a non-STEM subjects, you should know a statistical package like SPSS or STATA or some, so that you can get it done. Your result analysis and interpretation you can do. If it is a STEM-based subject, people will go for again tools like MATLAB or anything. MATLAB has got a tool for humanities and management also. I learned it yesterday. So proper toolbars can be utilized from the MATLAB and similar packages you can do. Many of the standard institutions they have this facility to do research. You should have a proper experimental setup in terms of hardware, software, and other resources. So this is the first step. You put a clear, I mean, you take it as a chart and put a tick mark against it. If you get ticks for majority of them or almost all of them, you are ready to march forward to the next step. So where do I get problems, sir? There are four sources which are very, very important. You may get a problem from people by talking to them, okay, by interviewing them. It may be a formal interview or informal interview, whatever it may be. Just talk to them, talk to the stakeholders. Basically, they will give you the source. They are very good sources for a problem. Problem itself is a source for you. So what are the problems already existing? If you get to know from them, or if you know from some records of the organization, you can identify the problems out of it. Programs also, right? So what do we do? We do some programs. From that also we can identify. By attending the programs like conferences also, you come to know some problems out of it. Phenomenon or a concept. The concept, it's available, it is published. You can find out, depending upon the innovations happening regularly, changes happening regularly, the solution space which is available, invented some years ago, may not be suitable for the current scenario, but you can modernize it. So these are the four major sources of a problem. So the next step, we do the survey, what is available. So for that, you don't look into so many years back. If you want your research to be very, very powerful and the current state of the art, you look into the survey within 3 years, not more than that, not beyond that. Suppose you start your research work in 2012, don't go beyond 2019. So that is the thing. Suppose if you go further, what is the problem? Suppose you take up some work which is published in 2010. Now you want to do that. There may be some similarity. Already somebody could have done at some point of world. Okay, some new innovation would have happened. You claim that you are innovated, already it has been published and completed. That is the reason we always go for the current. Within 3 years, you identify something, you try to do that. So how should the problem definition be tackled? How are the steps? So for that we rely upon a milestone chart, right? What are the phases? It's like a project scheduling problem. What is your objective? It's clear. Now what are the steps involved, the tasks involved, how they are related? Can they happen parallelly? Can they happen one after another or one before another? These are the things. Have you got enough resources? Resources in the form of hardware, software. It's a typical project scheduling problem or project management problem. So these are the key steps involved. So once you do, you present it. There are two ways available. The one is, as a researcher, whenever you do make a presentation, whenever you are meeting your guide, each and every time that meeting should be minuted by you. It need not be very, very, very formal kind of minutizing, but you know that what has been discussed. This is a concept we discussed. What supervisor said, what you said, which guide has accepted. Everything you minutize it. That's very much essential. Whenever you're making a presentation, PowerPoint is a must. When you do the PowerPoint, you take out the slides and start filing them in a single folder. It would be available even after completion of your PhD. Written presentation, always you keep is a backup method. Orally, even though you present it, you need to have a written material for that or a PowerPoint material for that. It may become a proof for the later stage. While you are writing the thesis, you will feel like I mentioned somewhere in my presentation. Always it's available in a soft form or hard form. You can refer it and you can quote it. This is why, because the journey is little longer, maybe 3 years or 4 years. People like me, we even spent more than 5 years to complete my research due to other circumstances. So you may be forgetting that what the point of start, what we considered at the time, you may be requiring for quoting them in your research thesis. So this kind of recording is very much essential for you. So if you find out something, the findings can be either published. When you publish, the writing skill will improve. You can go for a patent or you can go for a product. Public, you limit yourself with only a literature. We just publish it, okay, so that it comes in a very good quality journal. Your writing skill also you should improve. So this should have been gone in a internal uh, tab. I'm sorry, 1 minute. Yeah, this should be like this, okay. Yes, right. So writing skill is very much essential for the publication. The patent is the legal right of the research. Okay, intellectual property or patent also we can do, and it's a bit difficult for the software models or algorithms, no, to patronize it. So there are some restrictions available. We can go through and do that. And product and patent are very close friends. Like if you are able to do a product, that is appreciated, getting a patent for the product will be very much essential. So even though this order is there, once publication is done, it is good practice that add value for you. Then you can try to evolve a product also, try to patronize the product. You know that there are certain areas where more product developments are possible. If you take up IT, and IoT is the one. If I'm doing a software engineering, so bringing a patent will be very, very difficult in that. But if you take up chosen like image processing, machine vision, augmented reality, or maybe IoT, patents would be possible for that. Okay. So some of the tips also I want to tell about. There are certain terms I saw the entire flow of the different speakers and the titles chosen. So I'm not going to touch anything deep. My idea is to give a kickstart. I think I am in that direction only. But this is something I need to quote, which is related to that. So referred journal. So referred journal, as the definition I found out from CQ University Library. So it contains articles that have been through a peer review process. So if it's a referred journal, maybe a Springer or go to IEEE and all, they have a process of double-blinded peer review. Okay, so it is sent to 2 or more reviewers. Blinded means they don't know each other, right? So independent decision, independent conclusion or assessment is got from the reviewers, and a consolidated decision is made whether more than 2 or more than majority they support your concept, and or they say that it is not useful. Based upon that, the selection decision is made. It has got another name, peer reviewed name, or scholarly journals also. They say that scholarly means is none other than the peer review. Okay. Then go back to impact factor. This is quite frequently being taught about what is the impact factor of your article being published, or the impact factor of the journal. It's like a ratio. It's a fraction. So there is a measure of number of times an average paper in a journal is cited. This is what they are doing. So there are 10 journals or 15 journals they get received by them. So it depends upon how many times it has been quoted or cited by the people. And there are further, we got other indexes also available that I think one more speaker will be talking about it. Better I not touch upon that. So based upon my personal experience, there are certain do's, certain don'ts for the research. Number one is you need to spend regularly, minimum 2 to 3 hours continuously without any break with a particular time only. You are free only by night 10 o'clock means 10 to 1 we have to do. Do not, if you do not find a time at the college, we have to work with extended hours. That's the philosophy of our university also as well. So this is very much a great investment to sit continuously for 2 to 3 hours every day is very important for you. Don't do research like I have to do something like that. You really develop a love or a passion for the research. That is very much important. Without passion, no system can work. Okay, so that's very important. Learn through why and how. Ask questions. Don't believe anything simply because it is published, simply because my Guruji has told, simply because a great person has told. Okay, you start exploring like why and how If you get a justifiable answer, you can trust it. You always ask, be a self-critic. Self-critic, okay, being a critic first, that is a learn through why and how, and being a self-critic also. Whenever you are presenting something, you can ask yourself, like, is there any better way of presenting? How does it follow from the previous point I have stated? How does it going to contribute for the next point? These are the flow that governs the flow of your written article. That is extremely important. So being a critic, being a self-critic is a different art altogether. So create a healthy atmosphere at home and workplace as well, right? That's also very cool. So if you have some fight at the home, okay, if the other members, they don't feel the necessity of a research, then it is narag. You can't do anything. So your partner, your kids, your parents at home, maybe sister, brother, they should understand the value of your work, PhD work. They should respect your time. This is what certain don'ts from my experiences. It may not be available in any book or something. My own stuff. Don'ts. Many will start, but only few will complete because of the communication gaps existing between the supervisor and the scholar. You communicate, supervisor along with you, maybe even having 7 to 9 scholars or more for senior people. So he always, his tendency is to spare his time only for people who are inquisitive, who people are regular, who are not maintaining any communication gaps. That's important. You also don't make any communication gap, just meet. Without any agenda, don't waste your time. You prepare, you give your contribution and share it with him. Loss of focus. Loss of focus in research itself. Sometimes you feel like, I want to become an associate professor and get promoted. You start with a passion. After that, there is a loss of focus. You feel like something else has come, not possible. After choosing a title also, you are marching in the research, but there is a lack of forces. Somebody has said, sir, image processing is an old thing, sir. You go for blockchain. That is the latest thing. The MBA fellow may say interactive marketing is old. Now you go for a new concept. Right? So this kind of lack of focus also will be there. Once you freeze the topic, never change the focus. That's important. Discontinuity, diversified interest, money making. I want to go. I have a parallel business, sir. Evening 5 to 7. Okay, you may have appreciated. Try to postpone it for a couple of years once you arrive at some sort of solution or interiors of the research. There are some time thieves. You have to identify your friends, relatives, favorite TV programs, Sat Nibana Satya, mobile chat, email, magazines, newspapers, etc. So I take a 1 minute break to seek a feedback from you people at this point of time. First question, I got it. Am I too fast? Am I too fast or reasonably fast? Want your quick opinion? I don't have modern tools, what madam has said. Okay, you can use the chat window and you can say, how is the flow so far? Yeah, what does it signify? If you don't answer, at least you tell Dr. Ritesh, Dr. Tapan, my own team members. I don't want your appreciation. I wanted if the flow is proper, right? If the flow is proper. Appreciation is extra. We first of all know how we are delivering, right now. So our inner consciousness will tell like how I'm going, right? Going and proper. Okay, thank you. These two samples I consider. I'm very happy. Then I will proceed further. So let us have a quick recap of whatever we have done so far at this point of time and then proceed further. We started with the fundamental definition of research. Layman's definition says it's a research, and the concrete definition has got many terms like we need to know a systematic investigation, we need open-mindedness to solve an existing problem or a new problem using scientific method. This is what we have studied. When you go back, the types of research, we started learning lot of methods like exploratory, explanative, right? We have primary, secondary, constructive. These are the types of research. when I saw that the phases of the research, we discussed like the problem identification is the major thing. Okay, identify not problem, identify the problem source. We did it. Then we do a thorough literature survey. After that, we pick up the precise problem out of it. Then try to develop a model and try to do that. Then we do the testing, comparing the existing model. Try to interpret. Meanwhile, you acquire the tools for the testing also, tools for implementation also you do. Then after that, you submit it. Basically, we are doing a collecting, collating, and summarizing. These are the three things we do. Okay. So then we also saw like the importance of the problem. Okay, problem identification is very much important. Everything, whatever follows after that, is depend upon your first stage only. So we also identify some of the sources of the problem, maybe from people, maybe from processes, maybe from literature, right? We can identify the sources of the problem. And at some point, we also discussed like how a UG research is different from PG research, and PG research is different from PhD research, and so on, right? And we saw some couple of slides on do's and don'ts of the research. You have to be very systematic, spare your time, is a worth investment, spare your time for research continuously and constantly on every day you should do. And certain enjoyments you should postpone, don't kill them, you should minimize, or you can postpone to a couple of years. You have to do that. In identify certain time thieves, they can steal your time away. So identify them, be aware of them. Okay, and communication gaps are very sensitive. Many people, because of that, they don't complete the research on time. So you need to do communications very, very proper, record everything. Whatever you talk, you record it at least in a diary or something. And if it is a publication or a presentation, maintain your PowerPoint slides in a file, or either in a soft copy or a hard copy, who are all attended. So all these details are very much needed. Now let us move on further. So I will share now. Okay, it is already share mode, right? Okay, right. Now are you able to see this slide?
Yes, sir.
Nitesh sir? Nitesh sir?
Yeah, you have to F5. You have to presentation mode. That's it.
Nice. Okay. So let's proceed further. So, so far we identified what is the base for the research, and another few slides are there. This is a major thing is you research means we think like nobody should understand whatever we done, whatever we implement, like it should be like cryptocurrency or something, like okay, it should be hidden from others. No, more openness is welcome. So present it in a simple English, that's very much important, because we are going to address a varieties of people or scientists or people of other countries. Not all of them are uniformly skilled in English, right? So don't use some words which are quite threatening of nature and they are not frequently used kind of thing, just to show that your work is much ahead of others. Your work is not identified from the English what you use. But of course, you're not supposed to commit grammatical errors or spelling errors. That is understood. Then it gives a very poor picture about your work. English should be proper, error free. At the same time, you use simple English. Simple English, one example is use only simple statements. Don't use complicated statements starting from first line, going up to 4 lines with semicolon, 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 no full stop. Such things you don't do, please. Keep the flow very steady, systematically. This is what I'm going to do. As I told you, why I'm making this statement here. How does it continue? Is there any flow? Is there any continuity from the previous statement? Or how does it contribute to the next statement which I got in my mind? 100% important in that. Be logical, okay? Because every statement you make should be referring to some journal, or it should be done out of your own experiment. I say that some statement I'm making, 90% of the cyber crimes are the varieties which is being employed in the bank fraudulent type. Okay, how do you make? Then give a reference according to this magazine, according to the survey, or according to my own work previously cited. That's important. Do not make baseless or loose statements. Sorry, these two slides, the language may not be very appropriate, but still, like whenever you make a statement, you talk like a researcher. You have a base kind of thing. And repeated style, this is own allergy. People have automatic attraction with certain words. They use it again and again. We have to avoid that. In my presentation also, some words would have been repeated, right? So in writing, you can concentrate on that so that the same usage not getting repeated. You do alternate method. Okay. So but is using again, but you don't use on the other hand. So this kind of, maybe there are phrases or words which have got similar thing. Perhaps these kind of things you can use it. Okay. So this is what to be followed while you are writing that. So, certain tips for people, like how to kickstart your first paper. This is applicable to only out of you who have not done this even a single research paper. So, I want to gain your focus. I have not done any single research paper. What to do that? So, you can easily publish a survey. And there is an advantage of survey is you are learning to publish a paper for the first time. Beginner means survey is good. Many conferences, many journals of second quality, for example, they will accept surveys. However, journals of supreme quality with high impact value may or may not take up your survey, provided it is really solid in nature. So the survey paper, you can easily write. Some steps are there, some tips are there for you. So second paper should be a concrete paper. Whatever you do from the survey, you are going to do an implementation, analyze it and interpret it and tabulate it, the result using a scientific method that comes in the contribution paper or a concrete paper. Now we are going to talk about only a survey paper. So for survey paper, what do we do? Suppose I want to do one topic, you say that, suppose I want to do the economical crisis in the post-pandemic situation, economic crisis faced by India in the post-pandemic situation, or economical crisis faced by Gujarat. Okay, more focus you are getting. I'm not worried about the world. I'm worried about my own state only. Economical crisis faced by Gujarat state. Okay, post-pandemic situation. Like that you can do. So you are from the title, you know that what you are going to do, economical crisis. You are going to analyze it. So analysis of economical crisis is very good. Okay. Or strategies adopted by Gujarat government for economic crisis in the post-pandemic situation. These are your guide can he will help you to improvise. You do that kind of thing. So you can do that. Now this has got clearly stated what you are going to achieve, right? Title itself. Now secondly, where you are going to do the location. So is the state of Gujarat or India or the world, anything itself. Then what you do? You are going to do analysis, right? Okay, very good. So decide upon your search string. Now I want to know that is there anybody who was presented in this topic before? I want to know the state of the art. So your search string should have these content words, what I said: economic crisis with India, economic crisis with USA, post-pandemic, post-cholera. Cholera also people did, and another swine flu came, post-swine flu. Then you can compare what strategies government is taken, one government is taken, what strategy my government is taken after this pandemic, recent pandemic of corona. These, so you get lot of data, right? Then you can do wonderful research with the data. 5 people can produce PhDs. So that is possible. Then in that which direction I should go? Your guide will help you with that only. So this is what. So you need to collect literature from a good repository, authentic repository. That is why my friends like Jaja sir used to take the Scopus index. Marwadi also is so keen at least one Scopus index or SCI index before you submit the publication. We are all for that. That is a quality. People refer only those things, those papers for further research. So that is important. Collect literature from a good repository. Okay, trustworthy repository, authentic repository. IEEE Explore is one thing, or a Scopus is one thing. Okay, ResearchGate is something like. So you find out that repository and collect some paper. Okay, the sample size here is 100. Sample sizes I am referring here with respect to the solid papers we have collected is minimum 100 papers you have to collect it for a survey, right? So you have to do the appraisal. We all know self-appraisal, right? What I did, what I didn't do, where the areas of improvement before this increment happens. So we do self-appraisal. Now you want to be a critic. You want to appraise each and every paper. 100 papers you have collected. You have to write appraisal for them. What is appraisal? Two, like only two things appraisal will have. Number one, what is the contribution of this paper, what the authors are trying to contribute. Where it will appear? It may appear in abstract itself. If you take up abstract, and it has got only 10 sentences, in the last they will say that this paper is aiming at providing a solution for this problem. We are aiming at solving this problem. Okay, that is the contribution. You can easily fetch it up from the abstract. You need not read the entire paper at this stage. You can take the abstract. It is ready with you now, right? Then limitation is a negative. Don't say limitation. They would have said like somewhere like I have done this, developed this algorithm for this kind of problem. However, this algorithm has been applied by us only on the text data. Finished. Then you can say that it is not applied on the multimedia data as of now. You understand the weakness out of it. What a plus point is highlight, okay, may lead to some limitation, or however, you would say, however, this model has not applied on a multimedia data. Our future work involves applying the same algorithm for multimedia data. That means your future work, presently you have not done, I may also do it. This very much important. The stage is you identify the plus point, that's a contribution. Identify the limitation. Of one line you write for contribution, one line you write it for further improvement or limitation. That is the appraisal. 100 papers you can write 100 appraisal for that. Right? Once you've done the appraisal, you need to classify them. Imagine that you have kept around 5 trays before you, imagination tray. Like a file tray, you know that. The trays are there. You read the first appraisal, you understand what it is, keep it in the first tray. Read the second appraisal. If you feel like there is some similarity with the first one, keep it in the first tray only. If you feel like it is a different, you keep it in second tray. Like that. All the 100 appraisal, you classify them, imagine them, you have kept them in a different trays. For example, at the end of this stage, tray 1 may have 10 papers. Tray 2 will have 5 papers. Tray 3 will have 15 papers. Tray 4, tray 5, etc. You have done. So once you're done, you have to arrive at a schematic diagram. This classification can be diagrammatically represented. It is called schematic diagram. Schematic diagram is nothing but an inverted tree structure. You remove a tree from the bottom, put it on topsy-turvy, reverse order. You get a root at the top, right? And you get the rest of the bodies and branches at the bottoms, leaves at the bottommost. This is called the schematic diagram. This is the way to write a survey paper. Now, once you write the schematic diagram, it is very easy to explain the schematic diagram. That is going to be in chapter 3 of your work, proposed work. So people have to understand this your paper. So there are fundamental aspects should be there. So what is, for example, if a paper is on economical crisis, you say that what is economics? You can start with that in the foundation of the paper. Whatever required as a foundation study, that you keep it in chapter number 1. That's called introduction. 1 we have completed, introduction. Chapter 3 is your proposed survey. What is available in second 2? Second is a related work. Related work maybe somebody would have submitted this kind of survey somewhere. You take out around 3 to 4 survey, analyze them. You have to tell at some point like how your survey is better than the existing surveys. That is in second chapter. 1, 2, 3 got over. Fourth chapter you can keep some discussion about what survey you have done. And fifth chapter you can say the conclusion, future work. After that, references. You have got some abstract also in the beginning before the introduction. This is the chapterization between 1 to 5. 1 is an introduction. Second is a related work or existing survey, whatever it may be. Third is your proposed survey. Fourth is some discussion. Fourth is a analysis and conclusion or future work, whatever you feel like. There is no analysis here. You are presenting only survey. There is nothing concrete you have done. It's an exploratory nature. So you simply say conclusion and future work. Then references or bibliography, whatever you do. Writing order, I insist my father this way. Like a movie is being shooted, like first scene will not be shooted first. It may be shooted somewhere, but they will sequence it like that. So I also always insist my scholar to start with chapter 3. Proposed survey, you write the schematic diagram and explanation. That is what I want in the first work. Once you get it approved, then you go for introduction. Whatever peripheries, whatever foundation, preliminary information you want to provide to the reader with respect to your work. For you have done something, for them everything is new, whatever you have done. They need to learn the background of it. Such background information are kept in the first chapter. Then go for related work. Then fourth, is there any findings? Can you consolidate it? Or is there any case study possible? See, I am referring to this with combining the inputs of the management research, okay, maybe STEM subjects also like science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So some variations will be there in these two approaches. By and large, things are common, what I'm presenting here. Then go to conclusion and future work and references, as I told you, right? Abstract, people cannot write as it is whatever they want. Abstract may have very limited sentences. Most of the abstracts will be available in all search engines. Even though some papers are not available in full, you can read abstract, try to gain some insight of the paper, you can pay and get the whole paper. So abstract is very, very powerful as they are listed by majority of the search engine. Writing an abstract is a very big art you have to do, because you are going to consolidate what you have said in the paper, which will come for 6 page to 18 page or more than that. You are going to consolidate it within one paragraph of 10 sentences, say. So for every placement of each and every sentences in the 10 is very much important. What you say in the first place cannot go to anywhere else. Okay, and what you have to say at the last as a punching remark should be there. It's very much important. First, general statement, one or two about the subject, periphery. Okay, from the periphery only you can go move on to inside it. That's what central general statement you have to say one or two. For example, the entire world is facing how to recover from the post-corona impact, and everyone is working economically. Okay, it's a general statement. Like that, you can give two statements. There are many threats, cyber threats are attacking in a bank transaction, or people getting victimized in majority of the bank transaction due to cyber threats. And 78%, according to the recent survey by NASCOM, 73% of cyber threats are due to the money handling transactions. These two are general statement. Then go somewhat deeper, significance of the topic. Okay, so significant means why I have chosen it. If the cybercrime is providing this much loss, if it is not addressed properly, it may lead more loss in the future. Oh, that much significance it is. If you don't find a proper strategy for the economical growth at this stage, it will be very difficult for us to build the government or something like that you can tell. So what is the limitation and its consequences? So limitation means, so this problem not majority of the people have addressed so far, or due to some reason, or the literature from the existing data is not sufficient. That become a motivation for me. How are you trying to solve this approach? I'm using this particular method to solve the issue. How about the test result? When compared my result with the existing method, we get significant improvement. That is enough. Don't say too much big about your work. We found some significant improvements in the work, in our proposed work. Who will get benefited? So we believe that. Don't make any strong statement like these people will be benefited. No, we believe that. We hopefully believe that the researchers, okay, the cyber researchers or academicians will be benefited out of this work, or solution providers will be benefited out of this research. So this kind of structure, if it is followed, in my experience, majority of the abstracts are written in this fashion only. So this is what this will pull the attention of the readers. They will tempted to read whole paper, and they will even try to invest money to get the full paper getting downloaded. So this is not a thank you. I want to continue further for 15 minutes. Now I take this time to show some of the papers which are available to me now. Okay. Now, there are a couple of scholars who completed PhD. One is Nagaraju, one is Disha. I gave the same topic to them. Okay, security threats kind of thing. Let us open one paper. I'm not going to read the whole paper, just to see. Chapter 3 only I want to do that. This is a survey. This is called a schematic diagram. She has developed. And read the title of the paper. This is Analysis of Security Challenges in Cloud Computing. Right? So this was published in 2013. Okay, no problem. So this is the schematic diagram, how they have been classified. Security challenges can be classified into these three. Under that, this is a tree, like a tree, inverted structure of the tree I have done. This is a schematic diagram she has obtained. Maybe my scholar Disha Parekh has obtained, right? I'll show you one more now. Okay. So another scholar who has also completed is this one, IJERT journal. There is no much difference between the title. Security survey and security threats. She has used challenges, he has used threats in cloud computing. But if you look at the third paper, third branch, how he has classified is different. This is different from whatever Disha has done. It is totally different. So security threats, he's got a different classification based upon the literature he has done. He has done it 1 year before 2012. Got the point? In the 1 year itself, there is a massive differences these people have seen from the literature. So obviously, the schematic diagram also will vary. So third chapter, there is nothing. In the third chapter, they got the schematic diagram and they have explained it. That's all, nothing else. They explain each and every leaf out of this. There is nothing. This is the contribution of the survey. While they are analyzing, they have to quote proper references, and most of the references should be IEEE. At least 75% of a good paper is designed based upon what kind of references you got. If you just see this paper, no, almost around 70% will be quoted from IEEE only. So this gives some authority of what they have used in the paper so far. Clear? So survey is very much important. It's a stereotypically we have to do that. And another scholar paper I will quote, it is came in a SCI indexed journal. I think the Springer journal. I want to quote it just for your motivation only. I'm showing there is nothing. This is the SCI index journal. Shailaja and Sridharan have done it. And if you see that further, almost they will carry the same structure of whatever we have done. Clear? So that's survey is important. Without survey, you can't do the paper. This is a concrete paper. I'm sorry. This is not a survey. This is a concrete paper. So you won't get a schematic diagram here. This is a solution. What solution has given? Superlative model using word cloud for short answer evaluation e-learning. This work I'm taking it here to implement in Marwar University as of now. So this work is a concrete work, means your explanation should be more on comparison of result using the formula. Okay, this is important. What algorithm you have used? If you see that this is totally, these kind of entities were not present in the survey paper. So algorithm we are presenting. This is the result we are presenting. What kind of short answer, etc. Right? So this is another thing I just wanted to show. Okay. Yeah. Now I want to show some of the tips for article writing now. That will take 5 minutes more, nothing more than that. It's a very small presentation only. Dhananjay sir, going fine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very well. Going well.
Yeah. I think this part you missed it earlier,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So effective article writing steps from the experience and from the interaction which I had from learned people, I got it. So there are two primary steps. In the first step, you do the research first. Okay, don't try to document. Documentation you keep as a proof of evidences, but don't parallelly do. Unless you complete the work, you cannot take up the narrative work parallelly. So here you have to choose a topic, keyword research, article length. You should divide. Whether it's a short article, less than 2 pages, even half a page article also I have seen. If it is a lengthier article, it goes up to 18-20 pages or more than that. Depends upon the rules and regulations of the journal where you do that. So referring to the rules of the journal is also very much important. Like what kind of prescription they quote, what kind of papers they are accepting. That's important. So when you go to the next one, the step 2, you have to write an outline for your article. What you want to do is skeleton structure of an article. and heading to reveal the nature of the content. So you don't give any hiding. By reading the content or title itself, people should know that what you are going to do, what context you are developing, what you are going to provide. Is an algorithm or it is a prototype or what you are doing. Okay, the introduction to cover the foundation, I said, like, but related work and body to contain either a survey or a contribution, conclusion. This is the step by and large we are having it. Of course, references, appendix also will be part of it. Clear? So there are some steps we are going to do that. The first paragraph itself you should convey. There is no suspense what the article is about it. The first paragraph itself you should quote that what the article is about it. Don't keep the suspense till you last kind of thing. Organize your material in a point-wise fashion. Okay, then you can convert them into paragraph. What do you want to say? Write it point-wise, but point-wise you cannot present it in the paper. Then it looks like a table of information. So you have to convert it into a proper material or a paragraph then. So put the reader at ease. Use simple sentences, as I said, like you don't make them run away. Then put them at a comfortable or ease. Explain your points in short paragraphs that have been discussed. And don't be afraid to spill all the beans. Tell your trade secrets. That thing like I got around 10 concepts done. I will spend only 5 and I will keep 5 as a secret. No, you just whatever you got, whatever you learn, you do that. Okay. Then give concrete examples and personal experience also to back up your points. That's what I said, motivation at some point of time. Emphasize the benefits of your product or service. Give resource information and you get another opinion of your article. Before submitting, you can give it some informal, you can share it with learned people, great researchers. What do you know? Is there any problem, ambiguity you feel like at any point of time? Let me know. I'll make correction and do. Okay. Okay, important information, whatever you want to keep, you keep near to the beginning of the article. Don't keep it as a suspense. It's the same first point I said. Okay. So this is a common mistake due to 7 mistakes to avoid: grammatical, spelling, and punctuation. We get a lot of modern tools available. You can apply on your paper and try to find it out and do the debugging. Too much of hype, don't do. Without informing, like little bit is needed. Don't do too much of thing that will create a negative impression. Self promotion can be avoided. And elaborate discussion on what your reader is supposed to read rather than what you have got learned. So that's important. So from their mindset, you have to study like how it has been presented, and you have to do making your article broad and superficial in content. Headline or article summary that do not grab readers' attention. Okay, we should avoid. And plagiarizing or buying articles, like there are agencies available. If you pay, they will prepare the article nicely, they will publish your name, they'll get money for that. What are the use? And this is one thing, couple of research scholars booked under me. I couldn't continue my guidance because of one thing, like these scholars will be meeting you right as a guide, but they got somebody to work in the background for them. In that case, you can't claim any authority. Like whatever I ask logical question, scholar will not be provided to give answer spontaneously. That means that they have hired somebody to do the work for them. Such people are not welcome. You need to be proud. Your contribution going to be very limited, very simple. It's not something big you have done, but it should be original in nature. Then only you can proudly talk about your work in any forum. So that's important. Plagiarism is very, people are getting caught very easily in that. So we have to be very careful. Sometimes you may be getting caught without any uh, intention. I've not done it, sir. I'm getting caught means, then you have to be very careful in scrutinizing your work, like whether it's publishing or not, and pass it on to a proper plagiarizing tool and pay attention to the report generated in the tool and try to rectify them. So I can refer any number of articles. I can quote your article in my work. It's not a problem. I cannot copy the work as it is. So I'll read it, get improvised, or I present it in a different way. That is not considered as a plagiarism at all. So with this I'm stopping. Otherwise, this title I don't want to touch upon that right now because there are a couple of scholars are also going to do that. So here I'm positioning myself to thank you all for your patient listening. I'm not knowing that I've done a justifiable work, and again I need at this stage some quick feedback from you.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you so much,
I'm
sir.
happy to receive certain questions also. You can have you stopped my presentation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now
Yeah.
we have a couple of minutes. Any
So I have to
observation?
stick on to the timing. So I last few slides I made it little fast forward, but other than that I done my justification for my work. I'm getting some positive feedback from my mind as it is.
You can
Thank
see a
you
lot
very
of
much.
claps on your screen also, sir, appearing in terms of the
Chat.
emojis and claps. And so a
Okay.
wonderful session. And is in fact, this kickstart is very, very important for a researcher. I have seen making from 0 to 1 is very, very difficult. From 1 to 10
Exactly.
relatively easy, but once you are in motion, you are in motion. But
Exactly.
once you have stopped, it is very difficult to come out of the inertia.
Good. So,
So
Ritesh, my request is, can you please capture this chat and pass it on to me? They are like vitamin tonic for me. Okay. And
definitely.
yeah, we'll be in touch with them, and I will say a word of thanks to them at the end. Other than that, my thanks to you. It's a great opportunity, and whatever I learned from people like Professor Sanchetti and others, I'm able to share it with you. That's it. This slide, this kind of presentation, I'm making it for more than 4 years. If you see the first presentation made and today's presentation, would be a lot of changes, like because we are learning continuously. So whatever we learn, like we are implementing in that, we keep on doing canny, right? Continuous and never-ending excellence, right? Whatever we done, we criticize it, we try to improve it all the times. That's one way to shine in a community like you. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Wishing you all the best. People who have not registered for research as of now, kindly take it as a passion to register. Once the first, as Dhananjay sir said, the first publication is very difficult. Once you do that, you can't stop publishing. You want your name to appear in some sort of journal, and once you showed a proper quality for your work, the people's expectation will go high, and you have to do it much better than the previous attempt. So you get more attention, but still okay. Even now, I'm relieved. In the beginning, while Pratima madam was presenting, I was in the same feverish mode, like I should be justified for my work. These people have trusted on me. They called me. What if blabber something which is not relevant? What will happen? So we do a lot of prayers and then we start it, right? Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Bye
so
bye.
much for wonderful session for
I
the
log off. I
researchers.
log off now with your permission.
Yeah. Thank you so
Thank
much. Now we are going for a lunch break. It would be half an hour break, but before going for the lunch break, I would share the schedule. What is coming next? It is there on my screen for all of you. Have a look on it. So we had just now kick-starting your research, Professor Dr. R. Sridharan. Hopefully we are recording it also because it is not showing on my system. Possibly on the cloud it is recording. We'll be able to share the link once we upload it on YouTube channel. The next session at 2 to 3:30, Dr. Sachin Madgavne. He will be taking us from lab to land. Few experiences he would be sharing, and mark my words, experience is learning. Learning is experience. Everything else is just information. So in this call, we are not here only to give you the information, but to give you the experience. So go and quickly finish your lunch and come back at sharp 2, which means within time 1:59, everybody must be here in this call. So I am stopping this call unless anything else sir has. Ritesh Palkar sir, if you have anything to share. We have also created a Telegram link. Please join the Telegram link. We will keep sharing the resources over there, links over there, or any messages for all of us. So over to Ritesh Palkar sir. Unless you have anything, it is 13:29 in my watch. We'll break for lunch and sharp at 1:59 will be again start. Thank you so much, all of you. So take a lunch break, go ahead and come back quickly.